Welcome back, everyone, once again to a new installment of Screenplay Rewind. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Ron.
How's it been going, dude?
I'm exhausted, dude.
Per usual, we are recording this on the very last day possible, at a later time than usual.
Yeah, this goes live in like 3 hours or something.
So why didn't you watch the movie in advance, Ron?
Joke's on you. I'm watching the movie right now.
You're just like, you just fake the review by just reading through the Wikipedia synopsis. Yeah, so this, there's these zombies and there's World War II. And
yeah, so how about that Wolfenstein?
Yeah, it's not Wolfenstein. No, not at all.
No, as you know, we've taken a couple of the rooms in the house and turned them upside down and shook them real hard. We got rid of furniture. We bought new furniture. We've sold stuff. We've thrown away stuff. Oh,
Had Bobby just rob you blind.
Bobby looted the place.
Yeah. At
It's
gunpoint, by the way. Wasn't necessarily you were offering him the stuff for free, but he came armed just
it's
just to be
really
safe.
just a reflexive habit for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping this weekend we're done. Everything is kind of done and in place. It's just there's a few odds and ends that need to be tucked away.
So next time we'll record on the second to last possible day instead of the very last possible day.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
I've also had 2 job interviews in the time between two.
What have you been interviewing for?
Teller positions, and I texted you about one of them.
Oh yeah, that was no bueno.
Inside of a Walmart, and
That's the first red flag.
That was the first red flag. And then the lady was like, yeah, we have a lot of downtime, so what we like you to do is just kind of walk around the store and talk people to coming in and opening that checking account or opening a savings account. And I'm like, huh? Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And she's just like, yeah, so you just kind of walk around. We call it prospecting. You'll have tools. You'll have posters and flyers and pamphlets. And
because you know what really is effective salesman techniques is
jumping
flyers.
People.
Yeah.
I was
ambushing people trying to buy their fucking bread and eggs. That's gonna
I was sitting there thinking like
that's gonna work.
There'd be nothing more infuriating to me than being in the toilet paper aisle with a freaking bank teller walking around behind me pointing to a pamphlet trying to show me the percentage rate. Like it's just like, what is happening?
I like the fucking ancient sales techniques that are still used by all these companies. Like,
oh my God.
Like a real good one is all the random shit you get in the mail.
Yeah.
That it's just like like you're just burning through cash making all of these fucking pamphlets and flyers and shit. And all it does is just fucking end up in a landfill, dude. Just stop.
Yeah.
Like, please just stop.
This letter could have been an email I ignore.
Yeah. At least the shit in my spam filter doesn't end up in a goddamn landfill because you're too stupid to realize that this advertising doesn't fucking work.
It ends up in the Gmail landfill.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't think I'm interested in that. And this interview had been going really well. And I was just like, she dropped that on me out of nowhere. Those 2 bullet points. Walmart and walking around Walmart for most of my shift trying to get people to sign up.
So did she kind of like sell it as a different type of job pretty much, even though what you'd be doing is that?
I would still be doing the universal banking thing, right? I'd still be a teller that can open and close accounts and stuff. So like that part is accurate. But because it's inside a Walmart, there's not a lot of foot traffic, I'm guessing. So I make my own, I guess. She talked about like stalking the customer service area where people can cash checks and being like, I can open you up a checking account and then you don't have to like pay anything to cash your check.
So pretty much like casing the joint, just trying to like.
It's like the fucking Ocean's 11, but as a bank teller. So yeah, I was just like, I don't think I'm interested in that. She could not have hung up the phone fast enough. Like, she's just like, okay, well, like, thank you for your interest in the position, and then, like, just click. Like, it was just done.
Yep.
And I was like, huh, not even going to talk about this, huh?
Nope.
And, like, there was one point when I was asking her questions about prospecting, which, by the way, feels like I need coveralls and a mule. She was like, I mean, maybe it's just my experience as a car salesman, and I was like, okay, there it is. There it is. Got it. You were at one point in your life Bernie Mac from Transformers. Got it.
Yep. Man, I could not bring myself to be that much of a pest,
dude,
and just fucking ambush people. Like,
no, thank you. No, thank you, ma'am. That's not the worst bait and switch I've ever had, but that was pretty up there because it's not really a bait and switch. It's just they've tucked something else into the job description that's not normally there. But yeah, the other one was just a normal ass person, reasonable person interviewing me for the same position at a different bank.
So not Walmart prospector?
Not Walmart prospector.
Missed opportunity, man.
I talked about that, though. I talked about the issue that I had at the other one because I didn't want that to come up. I brought that up in the interview. And she was like, we do that in Texas. She's like, we have branches in Walmart and HEB. And she was like, we call it aisle time. And I was like, well, that's better than prospecting. And she
not by a whole lot though, because aisle time.
So it was a video interview, which was weird. I've never done that before. But she kind of looked at me and I was like, that's what the other bank called it. And she was like, called it prospecting? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, well, we call it aisle time. And I was like, that's better.
Man.
Also just a little fun thing. I was asking about the hours, like, because they asked my availability, and I was like, it'd probably be like 8:30 to close. And she was like, well, that works perfect because we don't open till 9. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't sure because the last bank I worked at, the lobby opened at 9, but the drive-through opened an hour earlier. And she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense for a motor bank. And I was like, a motor bank? And she was like, that's what we call them, as motor banks. I was like, motor bank? I was like, that is a really good description, actually, of a bank with a drive-through, is a motor bank. But I was like, I was like, that sounds really British. And she was like, does it? And I was like, I feel like they stick the word motor in front of everything. I was like, that sounds really British to me, but that's a really good description of it. And she was like, yeah, she's like, I've always kind of liked saying it. Motor bank. I got to drive on down to the motor bank and cash my check.
It just like, it has connotations of almost like a mobile home to me. Like it doesn't scream like drive-through. It screams like, for whatever reason, like mobile home.
What it screams to me is like, you know how AT&T and DirecTV, which I guess now are the same company, and all these other places have like their like emergency vehicles that storm into an area when a disaster hits. It's like you'll have AT&T over there bringing like wireless connections. You'll have DirecTV over there setting up TVs and stuff for news so you can track the hurricane or whatever. And then just over there in the corner, you just have a motorhome where the people are just withdrawing money from this motorhome. The motor bank rolled in.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's also really close to motor boat, I would like to point out. I just want to throw that out there. But yeah. I know I have learned, being almost 40 and on meds, interviews aren't that big of a deal to me anymore. So I'm not playing their game anymore. I'm just kind of me in the interview.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that I ever did was back when I was fresh out of college and actually like still try to do something with the degree that I don't use. When I was applying at
you have a criminal justice
officer
degree, don't you?
Yeah, that I will never use. But yeah, I got pretty far in the interview process to where they did the panel interview, to where I was being interviewed by 2 lieutenants, the HR rep, and the police captain.
Not intimidating at all.
And after you do that, I'm just like being interviewed by some fucking schmuck at like fucking 9 to 5. Just like, yeah, this is nothing.
Who doesn't want to be there any more than you do?
Yeah. I don't feel like in this interview that if I get the wrong, like answer going, I'm gonna get shot.
My breakthrough, I think, was the other day, because that second interview was today, but before the first one, I was just kind of like, I have the luxury of being comfortable even if I don't find a job. So it's like I'm not in critical need. And it's like if they hire me, great. And if they don't, great. Because we probably didn't want to work together anyway if they don't hire me, if I'm just being me. So, I mean, I cleaned up. I wasn't like cursing and stuff, but I was still basically just a censored version of me. And I was like, if I don't get hired, then that's probably a good thing. That's probably for the best because I probably wasn't compatible anyway. So having that mental breakthrough, I just kind of sat there and was just me the whole time. It was really kind of an Office Space moment after he's been hypnotized.
Got a meeting with the Bobs.
Got a meeting with the Bobs. Oh, God.
So you've been missing a lot of work, Peter. Well, I wouldn't say I've been missing it.
Oh, it's so good.
Why haven't we had that on the show yet? I fucking love that movie. I mean, probably because I'll just spend the entire time just quoting it from
like
start to finish. Because I've seen Office Space so many times, I could quote that fucker from start to finish. Fucking Christ. All right. Well, good luck with the job search. I'm glad that you're not a Walmart prospector.
Dude, I was like, the fuck? When she first dropped Walmart and she just blew right on past it, I was sitting like, she just fucking say Walmart? Did I just fucking hear that? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Great. What's great is the recruiter I talked to today watched they're like an avid listener of this podcast. I'm like, oh, good. Now I'm sitting here talking about shit. But yeah.
Well, we are going to be talking about Overlord today, but before we start off our movie review coverage, every week we go through our questions and comments. So, Ron, you want to start us off?
Let's see. Ow! YouTube's doing that thing where when I flip back to the tab, it has to refresh first. Oh yeah, here we go. So we have no held, which is sad. Those are my favorite. I need Bobby to just be racist or something so we can get a held comment.
Bobby's like, hold my beer.
We got 2 new comments on Below, which was our previous episode. By the way, that makes this episode 117, Jeff.
Damn.
It's
a lot.
We mentioned briefly Stardust in Below, and Robert, I almost said Robert Downey Jr., Robert De Niro and his performance in Stardust. And Bobby simply said, Stardust is amazing and never talked about.
Yeah, I love that movie.
That movie is so bizarre.
I love it.
It deserves to be on this podcast just for how bizarre it is, and then yet it's somehow good. Like, I don't know. It's strange. The second
Great cast.
The second one, a day later. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what prompted this. Bobby says, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
7. All right, next question.
That's it. That's the whole comment.
Maybe he was at work and he got like hit in the head with a brick or something, and he was just like short circuiting. So his brain just defaulted to. He spent an entire afternoon just asking people how much wood would chuck and woodchuck chuck wood thing.
I just kind of want to write into a podcast I listen to and just be like, no, legit question. If a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
I haven't thought of how much wood would a woodchuck chuck in like 25,000 years. So the fact that it was just stewing in the back of Bobby's consciousness is pretty funny to me. Like I need a follow up, Bobby, in the next review. Like in the comments of what led to the woodchuck.
Well,
comment.
I mean, you have to remember, the guy is like 12% woodchuck.
That's true.
On his mom's side, I believe.
It's true. He'd be like, I'm just imagining him like Bobby could totally play. What's the in Angry Beavers, like not the brown. What's the yellow beaver? Norbert.
I think it's Norbert and Daggett, if I recall.
Yeah. Bobby has real like
Norbert energy.
Dude,
Norbert's my favorite.
Yeah, I love Norbert.
Now all I can think of is, I'm sure on his next comment, probably on this video, he'll probably just be like, "Oh, I'm chucking my wood real good."
Man. And you said that was our last comment we had?
That's it. That's our, that's our 2 comments.
Well, I have a quick little prompt of just something I wanted to bitch about that I stumbled upon in the last few days.
All right, let me just sit back here, pull the microphone over, get a drink.
I want your input on this too, because I think you're gonna agree with me.
Okay, let me take off the 3D glasses then.
So I watched the Fantastic Four teaser trailer, and what was recommended in the feed is a movie I'm interested in.
Okay.
However, if you search Thunderbolts teaser, this thing on YouTube is officially listed from Marvel Entertainment as the Thunderbolts teaser. It's 3 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Okay.
Since when is a fucking teaser 3 minutes? That's the cliff notes for the movie at that point. That's not a fucking teaser trailer.
Yeah,
like,
so
what is that?
That is better than what, because that's actually at least from Marvel. There is another one that is trying extremely hard to look like the one from Marvel. It was for Fantastic Four, and it's the Fantastic Four teaser trailer, but it's 10 minutes long.
What?
And if you look, it is like, it's not an official Marvel channel. It's like someone doing like their hot takes on the trailer, but they have like the same title and the same thumbnail as the Fantastic Four trailer.
Wow, that's messed up.
It's pretty fucked up. But yeah, that's not a teaser trailer. That trailer is not a bad trailer though.
Oh no, I like the trailer, but that was the first drop of marketing for it.
Yeah.
Why is it a 3 minute quote unquote teaser?
I have no idea.
You want to know what a fucking teaser is? That fucking amazing under construction Star Trek teaser.
Oh,
you remember that,
dude? That's one of my favorite all time.
It's one of the best fucking trailers of all time. You want to know what it is? There's
nothing.
No shots from the movie. It is literally just voiceover. You get like 5 words from Leonard Nimoy because he does like the space, the Final Frontier line.
Yeah, and
it's imagery of the fucking Enterprise being built with like construction workers on it. At the very beginning of it, you don't even know what you're looking at
until
and
it
it's like one of the best trailers
enough.
ever. Yeah, and then they kick in like the music and they have like the logo and shit.
I'm pretty sure
and
that
it's like
voiceover is from the end of the movie, so it's not even like new voiceover.
Yeah, that's a teaser.
It's a fucking amazing teaser.
You should make me like interested in learning more about your movie. It doesn't even need to be, like showing scenes of the movie, because like one other trailer recently that I had issues with was the new Fantastic Four one. Like it's not a terrible trailer in it, but there's not a lot that is like crafted like they give a shit. Like that's kind of what I'm looking for. Like another cool one, do you remember the Transformers one where it was like on Mars with like the rover?
That's also one of my all-time favorite trailers I try not to think about because that movie sucks.
Like this comment that was like one of the top comments on that Transformers teaser that I found on YouTube, because I was just kind of like browsing back through some actual fucking teasers that they used to make 15 20 years ago before they stopped for some reason. This comment in the YouTube comments for the Transformers teaser is what I'm talking about. So this is from user @arc9833 from a few years ago. They said, "I remember sitting in the theater waiting for Superman Returns to start and thinking this trailer looked interesting. Then it said Transformers, and nearly every guy in the theater yelled simultaneously with joy. I don't remember anything about the Superman movie."
That was the last time anyone yelled with joy about Transformers.
But that's what, to me, a teaser trailer should be. It should make you like intrigued to learn more about the movie, not spoiling the entire thing.
So
like actually have like artistry behind it. And we've talked about this like multiple times where it's like there is no art behind trailers anymore, and it makes me sad because they used to be some of like my most favorite things to get jazzed about.
So that trailer, I was working at the movie theater, and I knew it was a trailer, right? I remember the trailer coming in, so I remember it saying Transformers. But the one that accomplishes the same thing that is hard to find now is Spider-Man. Do you remember that trailer with the Twin Towers, the spider web?
Yeah, that
it starts out with a bank robbery.
Yeah, it was almost like a little prototype version of the movie, like similar to like the Deadpool one.
Yeah, it shows the suit and everything too, and it starts kind of like the Dark Knight, and then they escape on the roof in a helicopter, and then the helicopter just stops, and then when the camera pans back, there's just a spider web on the tail of the helicopter, and it pulls the helicopter backwards, and when the camera pans out, they're stuck in a giant spider web between the Twin Towers, and the propellers are trying to turn, so it looks like a fly stuck in a spider web twitching. And then it cuts to Spider-Man with the suit. It's like the suit reveal. It's the reveal of the movie, everything all in one. And he swings away. The reaction to that Transformers trailer was my reaction to that because I didn't know that was coming up. I didn't know what I was looking at. And then there's the spider web. And of course, I knew they were making a Spider-Man movie. I didn't know that's what the trailer was I was looking at. It was incredible.
Right, yeah. I miss when there was like an artistry behind teasers. Because like the Fantastic Four one to me is just so bland because really all they're telling you is they're showing scenes from the movie, so it's not like a little cheeky kind of teaser like I prefer as the actual first teaser. Like maybe excited for your first trailer, not just like showing like the scenes with like the Thing talking about food, which is like it has the cadence of being a joke but doesn't ever really have like a punchline, so it's just like awkwardly paced. And I literally would have been more happy if it was just like 10 seconds of like fucking Galactus voiceover. Just something that is more engaging, as it looked like they gave a shit. Another problem with Marvel is they're very like hit or miss on when they realize that they shouldn't give shit away to me. Because if you remember, they went out of their way with Infinity War to make all of those alternate trailers like showing the Hulk instead of, showing the Hulkbuster. But at the same time, with Thor Ragnarok, we saw the Hulk and saw Mjolnir get exploded, which were both like potentially amazing scenes that had they not been shown in 10,000 trailers already.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing with Red Hulk and the Captain America trailers for the new one. Like that wasn't necessary to show. That could have been a reveal. Like it could have just been presented as a Winter Soldier style espionage thing with Giancarlo Esposito. Like they have him in the trailer. Why do we also need to double down with Red Hulk? Like I don't know.
If rumors are to be believed, that's not gonna matter that they revealed Red Hulk.
If he's in the movie at all, though, I would have liked to have just had that be in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that because it's the new Captain America movie. It's going to do well. That's another thing, too. It's like, I understand if you're creating, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, you have to sell people on it. And those trailers were fantastic, by the way. Like, the original...
James Gunn had to have had control of those, though. It being James Gunn. He doesn't just hand over shit.
The original like Guardians trailers had a lot of work to do because they were trying to show you like what the whole vibe is for these really, really obscure characters. You don't really have to oversell the new Captain America movie, like, I don't know. Marvel is really frustrating to me because sometimes they do it right, like, obfuscating stuff in Infinity War and Endgame, but then other times it's like, man, I really wish I didn't have all this shit spoiled for me. And then we're seeing scenes from Fantastic Four. Like, I'm afraid to watch more of their trailers because I feel like there's.
I usually just watch the first one if I watch one at all. Like,
right.
I'm not going to watch a trailer for Doomsday when that comes up because I don't need to. It's an Avengers movie. I'm already going to see it.
Yeah, and like revealing the Robert Downey thing at Comic-Con is also just like, what the fuck? I don't know. They're in a weird place for me. Like I'm excited for Captain America. I'm excited for Thunderbolts, but I feel like they're really phoning it in sometimes now, and it feels like a lot of the time they don't give a shit, and that's kind of insulting to me.
I don't know if they're phoning it in or if they're just struggling to get people to care after Endgame.
I don't know.
And they're just trying to drum it up. So the Fantastic Four trailer is weird, and I feel like you're in the same place with it that I am in with the Superman trailer from James Gunn, where everybody fucking loves that trailer, and I look at it and I just don't give a shit. It doesn't look like a good movie. It doesn't look fun. I don't care.
I am way more interested in Superman than I am Fantastic Four, because I actually do like that trailer, and I do think that at the very least it's showing like the vibe of the movie.
That's part of my problem with it too. I don't like the vibe of the movie.
The Fantastic Four trailer is really just telling you that it's 60s based, which everyone already knew.
Well, so, like, see, everyone keeps saying that, and I'm not sure. Some of the technology in it, it feels like it's kind of like Batman the Animated Series, where it's like
retrofuturism.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like modern day, but in that universe, because we know they're not in the sacred timeline. We know it's an alternate universe. So
yeah, I think it's like retrofuturistic 60s in the alternate reality. So like it is 60s-esque, like for sure.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's like 1960s technology in 2025 or what, kind of like Batman Animated Series did. But because some of the stuff I'm looking at that trailer, no one keeps talking about it set in the 60s. I'm like, I don't know that it is, because there's shit in there they didn't have.
They are. It is an intentional choice though, with like the aesthetics of a lot of the things, and like with the kind of.
I love the
like,
robot's
the music
eyes being the tape drive though. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good movie. I just think they really fucking phoned in the trailer, and I wish they had more, kind of energy to it.
See, where like I get what you're saying. The thing that baffles me is that it's the Fantastic Four trailer that is prompting you, because I could not give less of a shit about the Fantastic Four. I just never have, which is probably why I like those other two movies and everybody else hates them. But I just don't care. And watching that trailer made me care and made me really want to see the movie.
Just like, to me, like what that it's happening in the trailer.
Well, what's happening
it has such a weird cadence to it. Like literally all I care about in the trailer is the Galactus imagery we see towards the end. So the rest of it, like what exactly got you excited about it? Because to me, they're like nothing happens in the trailer. It's just very bland.
A lot of what we're seeing in that trailer feels like first phase Marvel to me, with really nailing down the aesthetics and the look of the film, because the film even looks different. It's got like a filter running on it. I don't know. It looks like we're going back to the way movies were made in the first phase of Marvel. And the things that I think you're picking up on is, you got to remember, Fantastic Four fans are like Star Wars fans. They hate everything. So it's like everybody hated how grim Ben Grimm is in the other three movies. And in this one, you see him all lighthearted and talking about food and stuff. You see everyone but Mr. Fantastic use their powers, which is interesting. We still haven't seen him use his powers. So we don't know what that looks like. But you see him drawing like wormholes and stuff on the chalkboard and working out mathematical formulas, and people are thinking that's how they get to our universe, is he opens the portal. But then, the Fantastic Car or whatever, everybody hated it in the first movie, and then we see the car. People hated the aesthetics of the other movies, so they're really going hard to show you the aesthetics. People are really hated in the other movies how no one ever seemed like they were in a family unit, because they're supposed to be all about family, like Fast and Furious. And in this movie, they're talking a lot about family and how they dine together at 7:00, no matter what's going on every day. And they talk about family a lot. It just seemed like it was really addressed to Fantastic Four fans to me. It just seemed it just seemed like it was really them saying, hey, those other three movies that you did not like, and then the fourth one that never released, the very, very first one, was it Corman or whatever? Like, this movie is not those, is what it really seemed like it was doing. Like, here's the laundry list of shit you hated about the other movies, and here is our movie. Here's our answer to that.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying though. Like, but my point of comparisons being, I like more esoteric teasers.
The thing that I keep hearing, by the
you're-
way, in every podcast and every website I look at, is people just being like, Galactus isn't a cloud, and being like super excited about Galactus not being a cloud.
I totally forgot he was even in that fucking movie because he was the cloud.
It's weird to me though. So much shit and the woke people or whatever that have been tearing Marvel apart for casting the female Silver Surfer instead of the male one, which is a character, by the way. There is a female Silver Surfer in the comics, so you can get fucked.
Or people were like, which people, who was upset about this?
Everyone. Anyone who is right-wing MAGA Marvel's woke now. Remember everyone being like everyone was like, oh god, X-Men's woke now when X-Men 97 came out because of Morph.
Okay.
And it's just like,
I get those idiots being mad. I thought you were saying like everybody was mad.
Well, pretty much everybody. You know, like I said, Fantastic Four fans are like Star Wars fans, so they riot about everything. When it was announced who was playing Silver Surfer, everyone just got so pissed off. I don't know. They're not even in the trailer, so I don't know how much we're actually going to see of them in this movie. Or if what they showed us is because they're in most of the scenes in the movie. I don't know. These are just the scenes that they're not. That trailer to me had a real vibe of most of what you're seeing is the first 20 minutes of the movie, first 30 minutes of the movie. So, I don't know.
It just personally did nothing to me to get me excited because it's just so by the numbers.
It feels like, though, there's something about that trailer. Maybe it's just because it's the Fantastic Four. I don't know. There's something about that trailer to me. It feels like the first movie from Marvel in a long time that has weight to it. Like, you remember how Winter Soldier changed everything? It changed the entire MCU. Like, I feel like this movie is going to do that. I feel like whatever happens in this movie is going to change the entire direction of the MCU. We know we got to get the Fantastic Four over here somehow. So something a lot of theories are something really bad is going to happen in this movie.
Yeah, I am excited for the movie because I like the director and I like the cast. I just would prefer trailers be constructed with a little bit more emphasis on. Like I know you didn't like the Superman trailer, but to me the Superman trailer is a lot better as far as actually having like an energy to it because it's James Gunn making it, and that one just felt like so much of the trailer is just the Thing talking about food, but there is no punchline to that scene. So that is worrying to me because if that is supposed to be one of the funnier moments of the movie, it's like, why? If that's supposed to be one of the funnier scenes of the movie, that is a red flag to me because they went out of their way to display that. That is also partially an Easter egg for people who know that actor from The Bear because he's a chef in that show, and that's also weird to me that that's part of the first marketing material for the movie. So
I don't know. To me, I think that was just good. Like 10 seconds of the trailer.
So it's only like an 80-second trailer. That's a lot of real estate of nothing happening.
I guess, so but it was like one line, so I don't know. It didn't bother me. I think that was just them trying to show. Everyone hated Fan Four Stick for how dark and edgy it was trying to be. And to me, this trailer just seemed like it was them trying to show you that's not what this is going to be. The characters are more lighthearted. The filming is brighter. Like, the scenes are literally bright. Everything that is happening in that movie is bright, which makes me hope they're going to take a note from Thor, and when Galactus shows up, everything gets real fucking dark. Because everything is just so bright and all the colors pop the way old recolorized TV shows do, right? Like the Bob Newhart show or something. The way the colors, or like in Mary Tyler Moore, the way color just pops because of the aesthetic that those shows have. I I don't know. That trailer didn't bother me as much, but I also can't really explain what it is about the Superman trailer that bothers me, other than I don't care for that character. I don't care for anything DC's been doing, and James Gunn's been driving me nuts the last few movies. So I'm not really that excited for James Gunn to be at the controls. So I don't know. Other than that, I couldn't really tell you what it is about that trailer.
I still really like James Gunn. I get the kind of like
that last Guardians movie was so bad, dude.
The last Guardians movie was my favorite of the Guardians movies.
I hated that movie.
Your opinion on that makes no sense to me, because to me it's just more Guardians. We'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
So I don't know. It's the two of us. We're both just like, this movie kind of sucks.
I love the third Guardians movie, but
the first one is still the best one.
But I had like a ramp up to liking them, because I was the person that wasn't crazy about the first one for a long time, because I thought it was overrated.
We went to Oklahoma City. We went to the Warren Theater down there before we had our own Warren Theater. I remember you being in the back, because I remember talking to you being like, when I was driving, being like, what the fuck is Guardians of the Galaxy? And you were like, it's this really obscure comic that only my dad reads. And you just went off on this rant about why Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
it was fucking random, dude. Like, that ended up being like one of their most like beloved series, and it's the most fucking random comic they could have chosen. But yeah, I'm still interested in watching the movie. It kind of like made me think back to the last like several Marvel things of, I wish they had a more cohesive group of people who are designing their trailers, because they're all over the fucking place.
I think another problem is I didn't start watching Marvel trailers till post Endgame. I still have never seen any of the trailers before. Probably.
But you saw the Ragnarok ones because you knew the stuff that had been spoiled.
Probably Ragnarok was the first time I did, and then that just kind of was like, yeah, I shouldn't be doing this. And then after Endgame, I don't really care so much anymore. So I know I watched the trailer for Shang-Chi. Captain America is probably the biggest one that I watched trailers for. I've watched all the trailers for
Brave New World.
For Brave New World, yes, thank you. I was sitting there running through every Captain America title in my head, like, nope. Not that one either.
Yeah. I miss when we actually had like a more, I don't know how to say it. Just like when more people gave a shit about trailers, just in general, even backtracking outside of Marvel shit. Like, I think trailers for the most part kind of fucking suck now, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, and that's kind of our conversation about we like this trailer or didn't like this trailer. I mean, kind of at the end of the day, it reinforces that, right? I mean, it seems like they're either all the Rocketeer trailer or they're the Fantastic Four trailer, where some people think it's bland looking and some people are like, fuck yes.
Yeah, that's what was surprising to me, because me personally, I can't imagine getting excited.
The people that are super excited are the hardcore Fantastic Four fans. There's a couple
those people just sorry to cut you off. Those people are crazy to me, because I can't imagine being a hardcore Fantastic Four fan.
I can't either, but
I don't understand.
One of the podcasts I listened to, both hosts on it, the Fantastic Four was their introduction to Marvel. So it still holds a special place in their heart. They love Fantastic Four.
That's mind-boggling to me, because they are some of like their characters. I know there's been good comic runs because they've been in place in Marvel for 60 years.
Yeah.
I know there's been good comic runs, but on the surface level, their character arcs, each of them is like, you have the smart ass, the smart guy, the smart lady, and the abrasive dude who's the rock guy. They're so dull on the surface level that like I can't imagine liking them that much.
Yeah, to me it had like, those characters are clearly old school archetypes, right? And they always have been. Their powers even reflect their personalities a little bit, but I've always liked the Fantastic Four. I've never cared to engage with them in a Fantastic Four setting. Like, some of the best episodes of Spider-Man is when the Fantastic Four shows up, right? Like, I always like seeing them in other things. But if it's like I never watched the Fantastic Four animated series, like I'm not
Right.
gonna do that.
Now, I do love their supporting characters and villains. Like Galactus and Doom and Silver Surfer are all really cool.
Yeah,
It's just the main characters themselves I couldn't give less of a shit about.
yeah, and then see, and with me, it's I don't really care for them at being at the helm, right? Like I like those characters. I like Reed Richards and stuff, and I like Johnny Storm and Sue Storm and the Thing. I just don't like them when it's a Fantastic Four thing. If it's X-Men or if it's Spider-Man or something, I'm into it when they show up. But I really don't care about the world of the Fantastic Four, which probably helped me like this trailer more than more than you did.
I think that was also part of the problem too, is like such a big part of the trailer was just talking about each of these dudes and what their power is. Like, I already fucking knew that, dude. Like, I wish it was I wish it was giving me more reason to get excited. That's what it boils down to. It did not do anything for me. And there's a lot of like articles and stuff I've been seeing of people having like a similar reaction to it, where it's like how you were saying, like, I can't tell you why, but I like the trailer. There's a lot of articles from people that are like, I can't tell you why, something's off about this trailer and I don't like it.
I think
so
there's
it's
something
weird.
they're hiding. Like Winter Soldier was hiding the Hydra reveal, right? That Hydra's
Yeah.
infiltrated everything. I think there's something about it where one, it's talking directly to the people that hate the other Fantastic Four movies. I think is one thing that makes it weird, and because that was my first
That makes
thought
sense.
when I watched it was I saw a counter to every complaint I've ever heard about those other perfectly legitimate movies. Those first two movies, I really like those movies. I don't get the hate for them. They're not the best movies I've ever seen. Or
I
anything.
I remember them just being okay. Like, I remember them being fairly forgettable, because like what's interesting too is like you were looking at that new one in like a retrospective kind of way, comparing them to
Well, they're comparing
the
themselves.
original
I had to.
the original two movie franchises, you know, like the one with Chris Evans, and then the new one that was like,
Man,
you know, like,
Four Stick.
yeah, they didn't even cross my mind because those things are just no longer relevant.
Well, I
to
couldn't
me.
help
I
it
just
because
don't
they're
even think about
directly
it.
comparing themselves. You know, so it was like the first thing that popped into my head because they're just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, look what we're not. Look, Ben Grimm's talking about
I just-
garlic.
Yeah, I just
Here's the
we
robot
gotta-
that everyone missed for some reason. Here's Alpha
Herbie.
5. Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's the Fantastic car. You guys didn't like the one we made, so here's this one.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think it'll still be good. I just Marvel's trailer group is really weird.
One thing
It's
I
like-
will say though, the Chris Evans ones were made at a time when the fuck are you talking about? We can't just take something directly off a comic book page and put it on the screen. Audiences would never go for that, right? So there is something about seeing them in their element with things looking the 60s-ish, having the white costumes with the blue stripe. Like there is something about seeing it that was really cool, and seeing that their origin story hasn't changed. It's still cosmic radiation in space. Because they changed it in Fan 4 Stick, right?
Yeah, didn't they like get warped by a black hole or something?
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
I saw it, but that shit got deleted from my brain so fast. The only thing I remember liking about it was they had a couple pretty cool Doctor Doom scenes where he's just
I
like
can't imagine.
fucking people up.
I can't
they had a
imagine because
couple cool-
he's a computer hacker, right? Isn't his screen name Doctor Doom or something stupid like that?
No, he has like the powers and
Does
shit,
he
like,
really?
in the movie.
All I've ever heard
he-
is that he's just a computer hacker that goes by
No,
Doctor Doom.
there's the best scene in the movie. I'll have to try to find it on YouTube and show it to you, because there's a really fucking cool Doctor Doom scene in that movie. The movie's terrible, but the scene's amazing. There's a tracking shot where you're following like 2 feet behind Doctor Doom through an entire building as he is just like dismantling an entire battalion of soldier dudes. It's really fucking cool. So good.
I just remember in that first Chris Evans one when they're standing in the parking garage and he just, without raising his hand, shoots a lightning bolt through a dude's chest. I was just like, oh shit, this movie ain't gonna fuck around.
And that's another thing too, is like that's we got to get back.
I know,
to the movie.
I know,
We're
I
talking
know.
about the shit for way too long, but making Robert Downey Doctor Doom is such a fucking spineless thing to do.
It is, but also if we're gonna get a new Avengers versus Dark Avengers, I don't know. I might.
It's so fucking like him dying at the end of Endgame is supposed to have weight because you're not getting more Robert Downey. If you just fucking recast him, that is such a fucking lame thing to do to me. It pisses me off.
Multiverse, Jeff. It's comic books. This is what comic books do.
So much of their multiverse shit has been bad. Like the only thing that's been good about it was like Deadpool 3 and Loki. Everything else has been shit. I don't know. The stuff with Marvel is just really frustrating to me because it's just like they had this amazing run and Endgame is amazing, and then ever since then it's just like Feige just grasping for relevance as people continuously shit on their movies, and rightfully so, because a lot of them have been bad. So it's like once they have a bad streak, oh, let's bring Robert Downey back, and it's just like, man, fuck you, dude. Like we could have had Cillian Murphy as Doctor Doom, and we're not gonna do that, so we can.
That does upset me because he would have been
so
great.
fucking amazing, dude. I'm so tilted that they didn't fucking
because
cast
of
him.
multiverse, it could still happen.
Yeah, it could. But if Robert Downey is legitimately Doctor Doom going forward, and they announce that on a fucking Comic-Con stage 4 years in advance for no reason,
stupid.
Fuck off, dude. Fuck out of here. Okay, let's get to the movie
real quick. One of the last things I will say. I'm not gonna say what it is, but if the rumors are true about Jonathan Majors being in talks to come back as Kang, one, I can't really condone that. You fired him for a very good reason. Get him out of here. But if the rumors are true also about why, it could be really cool. And I kind of want to see that too. So
I'm really unplugged from all the news intentionally because I don't want shit spoiler free as much as possible, because God knows Marvel does enough of that in their own right. Just actively spoiling shit for no reason, like the Robert Downey thing. But
when I heard Jonathan Majors, that is the guy, right? I've got the right guy in my head.
Yeah, that's the Kang guy.
When I heard them talk to them, I was like, come on. Like, really? Like, you don't... I hate when you're a shit human being and then you get to come back from that, you know? I don't know, but hopefully... The thought is they're just wanting to close the chapter on Kang because we're going forward to Doctor Doom from now on.
Oh, I thought they already did that.
No,
with Loki. To me, like that was their kind of like way to write themselves out of that.
No, because we had the Council of Kang at the end of Ant-Man, I think.
Yeah, but they've had shit that looked like it was like, for fuck's sake, the ending of Guardians 2 was Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is in that fucking third Guardians movie for like 5 minutes. So like, just because they're in credits things doesn't mean that they're actually important. Sometimes they're just nonsense.
And it's so hard for me to believe that is the same guy from fucking
Midsummer.
Yeah. That's so jarring, dude.
Right.
That is so jarring.
I like that actor.
I like that actor. Apparently he's
really good
too, which I've never seen.
Yeah, he's really good. It was just really fucking weird how we have all this lead up to Adam Warlock, who is in the movie for 5 minutes and barely does anything.
And he's such a fucking annoying character, and everyone loves him, and I don't get it.
But we gotta move on. We could talk about fucking Marvel shit forever.
Welcome to our new Marvel podcast.
Yeah, the last episode of the Marvel podcast.
Welcome to the pivot. Oh man, what did we watch, Jeff?
What did we watch?
What did we watch? I forget.
Well, I thought we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Is this a Marvel show? Or is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I just need you to keep talking about it. I'm almost done with the movie.
Man. Yeah, we're talking some fucking Overlord, dude.
Goddamn right we are.
We decided to pick this as a continuation of our kind of like supernatural, kind of like genre films based within World War II, as a follow-up to Below, which great double feature if you were to watch these movies back to back, I think.
Oh man,
so good. Definitely not a Wolfenstein movie at all.
Not at all.
Not
totally
at all.
not a we couldn't get the rights to Wolfenstein movie.
Did you know, by the way, this was originally expected to be like a Cloverfield
That's what I was
tie-in?
literally just about to say.
Yeah, I did not know that. If I did, I
Now,
forgot.
is
but
this the movie
yeah.
that J.J. Abrams denies that, but other people that are in the know are like, yeah, no, it was totally developed originally as.
I think you're right. I think it's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Which
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember there was a lot of kind of internet chatter about this in the lead up to it, just mostly because it was like a somewhat mysterious project. Because that's like, is it Bad Robot? Is that
Yes.
Abrams' production company?
Yep.
He's always really cheeky with the way that their movies are produced, especially since the first Cloverfield movie, with how they're like kind of marketing frenzy about like do you remember with Cloverfield, like you didn't even know the name of the movie until like the 5th trailer?
Yeah.
Like it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was just like Secret Project or something when the trailers would show up to the movie theater and we had to put them on. It was just labeled like Untitled J.J. Abrams Secret Project or something.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I think
how
for
is
a
it
while,
secret? I'm holding the trailer in my hand.
Right. I think for a while the working title was the release date of the movie, because that was the only bit of kind of like text you got.
Aren't
for
there
the movies.
posters for Cloverfield that don't have the title because it wasn't titled yet? It's just the Statue of Liberty in ruin. And then
I think so.
And then
yeah,
didn't
I
we
remember
take that
being a
down and put
thing.
it up with another identical one that says Cloverfield?
Yeah, once it was revealed.
Yeah.
I don't even remember exactly how
I
they.
wonder if those posters are worth money.
Probably.
Like Revenge of the Jedi posters.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not that kind of money, but same kind of deal. It's an out of print poster, limited poster.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So this was when was this released? Yeah, 2018. This is it's based on like an alternate history,
Wolfenstein,
World War
yes.
II.
The holy
yes.
text that is Wolfenstein, yes.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
So we're basically following a small group of American soldiers who find horror behind.
I don't know why that makes me laugh like it does. It's so stupid, and it's not even really a joke.
It's the reaction that
he's got the mask down, but you can somehow still see Rick Moranis' face behind the mask.
It's so fucking
and
good,
his body language.
Man,
sorry, with the Wolfen 9 for some reason put the Overlord helmet in my head. I had to get it out.
Surrounded by assholes.
I'm surrounded by assholes. Thank goodness you were wearing that helmet. Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay. This is now just the Marvel and Spaceballs podcast.
Oh, you goddamn right.
Like
I can't wait until the multiverse ties those two properties together.
Jesus Christ. So this
just
the
let
basic
that sink in for a minute.
Prepare to fast forwarding, sir. Okay. A small group of American soldiers find horror behind enemy lines on the eve of D-Day. So yeah, this is alternate history.
Now my question is, how do we know this is alternate history? How do we know this didn't happen? This could be a fucking documentary.
Well, everyone knows the Nazi zombies were found after World War II, not during World War II. See, that's the difference.
You know how many Nazi zombies I have killed in video games, Jeff? Like, I'm telling you.
All of them?
This had to originate somewhere. I'm telling you, it happened.
It's in a video game. It's based on history.
It's got to be real.
It's got to be real.
This movie fucking rocks. And it is critically loved, and it is loved by audiences. No one just turned out to see it, really. And that's a shame.
It's so fucking good. It was even better than I remembered. Go and check it out. And I remember loving it, but like, man, it's so good. I love how like lean the movie is.
Yeah.
Like you start the movie, they're already on the fucking plane, and like they're about to drop.
One of the most intense openings to a movie, probably.
Dude, holy shit! Just by the way, spoilers for Overlord, and if you haven't seen this movie,
go watch it.
You have to go check it out. This would be one of those things to where if this actually had officially been called Wolfenstein, this would be regarded as easily the best video game adaptation of all time. Like
even better than Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry is pretty good. I'd say Overlord.
I remember dragging you to that movie and you being like, "What the fuck are we watching?" And then both of us kind of walked out like, "Holy shit!" Like,
Charlton Copley, like just turning
Dude.
into like an Oscar caliber performance for no reason.
and
Hardcore
no one
Henry.
cares, and it was so
'Cause
good.
He didn't he play like 8 different characters or some
I think
shit?
he played more than that.
Because he was like he was like cloned, right? Wasn't that the
Yeah, the
God, I can't
reveal of him
remember.
being in a wheelchair the whole time, and he's just like controlling
watch
these
that again.
avatars.
I haven't seen that shit since the theater. I remember almost having a seizure at the beginning because you
I
had to get adjusted
wonder-
to the first person.
I wonder how that plays at home, because part of it is being in the movie theater watching it, right?
It's very jarring, but once you got acclimated to it, it was really cool.
Yeah, I wonder how that plays at home on a small screen.
We should cover it, and then we can find out.
Just cover it, Fivehead.
Yeah, just fucking pick it, idiot.
Fucking do it.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, this movie is so fucking good, dude. Our director is Julius Avery, which I have heard of a couple other things. Have you ever heard of Son of a Gun?
I have heard of it. That's the
This
Jeff
is-
Bridges? No.
It's a Ewan McGregor movie.
Ewan McGregor,
that
that's
I've been-
right.
It's been on my kind of short list for a while. It has Alicia Vikander and Ewan McGregor in it, so it's a pretty good cast from this director. And it's been on my kind of short list, obviously, because everyone knows.
No. I've seen this. This is the one of them I told you about. It was fucking awful.
Oh, it was bad?
Yeah, I told you about this. I
I
told
have-
you it was a heist movie, that the heist is like 5 minutes long, and then the movie's not even about that.
Interesting. Yeah, I totally forgot you had seen this because I had been wanting to watch this because of Ewan McGregor and this director.
Yeah, this is
didn't
what I
realize
had
it was bad.
texted you. I told you that all the best parts are Ewan McGregor, and the rest of it is like, what the fuck am I watching? There's like this fucking tortured romance between Brenton Thwaites and Alicia Vikander.
Oh, that's disappointing that movie's like because it has a good director and a good cast going for it. It just sucks that the script sounds like it was.
Yeah, I
not
was
up to
like
par.
ranting to you while watching this movie. I was like ranting to you live. In text message.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that this guy hasn't done more because like Overlord is so well done.
Because I told you the thing that's really jarring about Ewan McGregor in this movie is it's like the first movie that he's not charming. Like he is such an asshole. You hate him so
really?
much. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's such a good performance, and you hate him so much for it.
Ewan McGregor is so.
He's like
fucking
walking around like slapping women and stuff. Like it's
Jesus.
crazy.
good. Weird. It has like a 6.4 on IMDb. It's weird that it's not lower because like that's a decent score for like a random movie on IMDb.
Most of the movie is this one just idiot kid just trying so hard to get in with this like crime syndicate, and he's just stupid. Every decision he makes is stupid, and the script bends itself around that decision to make it work. It's real bad.
Well, that's lame.
But the Ewan McGregor stuff is really good.
Yeah.
So no, yeah,
It-
I know this movie. I'm looking at pictures of it. I'm like, yeah, this is that movie that I was fucking ranting to. The way they get out of prison is incredible. It's like Ewan McGregor like heists himself.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
It's weird that it was such like because Ewan McGregor is usually kind of choosy about what he does. It's weird that the script wasn't
Yeah,
better.
maybe he was
if you-
behind on a car payment. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird because if you had told me this was with Ewan McGregor from the Overlord director, I'd have been interested in it. But it's weird that it was.
I mean,
it
I
wasn't
would
that
still
good.
be curious to hear. I remember texting you being like, I have a movie that is just bad that I'm tempted to bring to the podcast. It's not even so bad it's good. It's just bad.
It's just
I
bad.
was tempted
Just
to bring
hear
to the
my
podcast
kind of take on
just
it.
to hear what you have to say, because it is a really bizarre movie.
See, now you're making me what kind of more interested in watching it.
Yeah, like it's just bad, but man, it is. There's something about the way that it's made. I feel like it does everything you're not supposed to do. And it builds up itself as a heist movie. The heist is stupid, and the heist is like 5 minutes of the movie, and it doesn't even like work. They're just like in and out, and then that's it. And it's just like, what? And like the trailer's playing, and I'm watching this trailer go, and I'm like, yeah, but this is all of it. Like, this is the entire heist in the trailer, and this car chase is the only other shootout they have. The movie sucks, dude.
So this has been a Marvel podcast.
Yeah,
and a Son of a Gun podcast.
Son of a gun, this movie sucks. You'll find yourself saying.
Watch it just be like, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, not for me, bruh. Most of it is just this guy just loves this girl. It has like this Romeo and Juliet thing going on because she's like the like forced girlfriend of the crime boss, and he's this newcomer, and he's in love with her, and she kind of likes him. If they find out, they'll be killed, and he keeps making all the worst fucking decisions he can keep making. They should have been killed a long time ago in the movie. He's so the main character. The actor may not be bad. I know that name. I just don't know what I know it from. But that character is awful. The decisions that character makes and the way the script bends over backwards for it to make it work is bad. But
well, I know what I'm picking next time.
Yeah, it's an infuriating movie, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of interesting to talk about because it's kind of how you don't make a movie. I don't know. But
it's like, yeah, just like do the opposite and then you're fine.
Yeah, like Sprint, like with our customer service, like just don't do that and you're good.
Yeah, you're absolutely chilling.
Yeah. So, but there was something else on this guy's CV I remember seeing that I was like, oh, maybe it was one of the writers. Let's see. There was something else that I was familiar with.
I don't think there was anything else. Maybe the last movie this director did was another thing I was actually kind of interested in. Did you ever hear about The Pope's Exorcist?
I have heard of it. I have not seen it.
So it was like a horror movie starring Russell Crowe as an exorcist.
Okay,
I remember that. It got some like decent buzz as being like a pretty solid horror movie that I was kind of intrigued about.
Interesting.
It was
the writers behind this movie. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, let's talk about Billy Ray. Is one of the co-writers of this.
Cyrus?
And he's done a few things. He wrote a movie that you and I thought was like way too harshly reviewed, Terminator Dark Fate.
I liked that movie.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. I know you cannot appease Terminator fans nowadays, almost like you can't, like with Star Wars fans, because they fucking hate everything, it seems like.
Just in the name power, okay? Whether you like these movies or hate them, you've heard of them. So it's Terminator Dark Fate, Gemini Man, Overlord, Captain Phillips, The Hunger Games, State of Play, Breach, Flight Plan, and Suspect Zero. Just to name a few. Hearts War. Oh, Volcano. I shake my fist at you.
You're no Dante's Peak.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Ooh. Watching those back to back and doing a podcast, that would be interesting. But yeah, my favorite thing though, my absolute favorite thing on this guy's CV, Jeff. The AMC theaters, we make movies better. Have you seen that? Nicole Kidman, have you seen that?
Yeah, I think I have.
Oh my God. It is the worst thing your eyes have ever seen. And I pray to God it's on YouTube because I kind of want to watch it again.
I thought you were about to say that it is the worst thing I've ever seen, and I've seen Son of a Gun.
And I've seen Son of a Gun. God damn it. Yeah, it is so stupid. And I remember Jerry Rocha on one of the podcasts ranting about that and laughing his ass off the entire time. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I actually saw it at an AMC theater, and I was just like, oh my God, like this is so stupid. Like, how did you get Nicole Kidman to do this?
Yeah, she got a paycheck.
And it was an expensive one too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She's Nicole Kidman.
Those are the best things to do too, because like when you know they're going to overpay to get the person and it's a very like short project, that's like, because like she's just making bank to be there for like a day.
Yeah.
It's just Easy fucking money.
But yeah,
I do the same thing.
But I mean, just look at the movies in this guy's list. Like I said, whether you love them or hate them, it doesn't matter. You know what they are by the title, and you recognize the title.
It's interesting. It's like he's got like this kind of like working man's career in the industry of like constantly turning out notable things. Some of it's bad, some of it's really good. So it's like he has chops. It's just like the projects he's picking are sometimes like all over the place. Like I wouldn't expect the person to transition into Captain Phillips from the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know, like that's an interesting back to back. And like Overlord with like Terminator Dark Fate makes sense, but then like transitioning from Terminator into Richard Jewell.
Did you see his upcoming?
I did not.
His upcoming, he's got 5 things. Like, dude, okay, fucking slow down for one.
Yeah, calm down, dude.
Adaptation Don Quixote. Writer, Untitled Capital Assault Project. And then earlier script, that Sinatra movie that's coming up that I've been hearing about.
Is it actually because I thought they've been trying to make a Sinatra movie for like 20 years and it just never happened.
They have been, but it's supposed to be moving now.
Interesting.
But he wrote the earlier script. I just don't know how earlier. I don't know if it's that Scorsese one or if it's if they're taking that because I think he might have wrote that too. I don't know.
I happened to click on the Sinatra page on IMDb. Have you heard this? That in 2000,
John Travolta,
Martin Scorsese had planned a film starring Travolta as Sinatra and Tom Hanks as Dean Martin. I would watch that movie.
If the multiverse was real, I would want the Fantastic Four to take me to the universe that movie happened. Because I want to see it.
Kind of amazing. Like I feel like that would actually be pretty good casting.
I mean, John Travolta would have to be lip syncing to either the Sinatra tracks or to Seth MacFarlane, right? Like there's no way.
Right.
There's no way you get John Travolta to sing Sinatra, is there?
I don't know, man.
I love that my most favorite part of your answer was the pause before you gave it.
I'm just reading. My brain is just cycling images of Travolta as Frank Sinatra, and I'm like, I'm their opening. I'm their opening day, dude. Like,
can we talk about the other writer, Mark L. Smith?
Yeah, go ahead.
We got Twisters, Overlord, The Revenant, Vacancy, which I always wanted to see and never saw, and did not know that there was a Vacancy 2.
Oh, okay, that's the one that's bizarre to me. Moving from The Revenant into Overlord,
right,
is like these writers
from Vacancy into Revenant, right?
Like these writers, you got to give it to them. Like they've got range as far as some of these things are like adaptations. Some of these things are like very bleak. Some of these things are like, you know, like Overlord is a dark movie, but it's also like compared to The Revenant, you know, it's a totally different tone. Like, and then like to do Twisters, which I've heard is good. I've
heard that is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that. I just haven't seen it yet.
I can't believe it. I cannot fucking believe it.
I thought it was going to be atrocious, but just when I heard that it was happening.
Everyone loves that movie. I guess I'll watch it eventually, but yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you this much about Vacancy. I never saw it, and I wanted to because I like Kate Beckinsale in more than one way. And the funniest part of Click is that script has Adam Sandler married to Kate Beckinsale.
Have we talked about how that's the most like unrealistic thing outside of like
the remote control?
Like it's more.
I can suspend my disbelief
than the time travel
for death giving someone a remote control that controls life. I cannot suspend my disbelief that Kate Beckinsale would marry Adam Sandler. But Luke Wilson, that makes a lot more sense to me. And I like Luke Wilson. I don't think he works enough.
I like Luke Wilson too.
I was hoping since Owen Wilson is knocking it out of the park on Marvel right now, that maybe a Luke Wilson will get pulled in somehow.
I can see that.
Maybe wouldn't it be awesome if he got pulled in as the from a different timeline in the MCU and the multiverse stuff? He's the same character as Owen Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Just have Luke and Owen Wilson playing the same character from 2 different universes.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. I'd be all about it.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
I'm just a sucker for the TVA stuff because the TVA stuff is bonkers.
There are 206 bones in the human body. 207 if I'm watching Gossip Girl. Oh God.
All right, let's get to the cast because this cast is fucking
This cast
awesome.
is
Okay.
great.
All right, so we've got Jovan Adepo, who is our
Nailed
lead, who is he plays Ed Boyce in this. He has been in several things. I've seen him in. Did you ever? I don't think you did, but did you ever watch the Watchmen HBO miniseries?
No.
He is really fucking good in that show. He's a supporting character in it, specifically for when they're doing like flashback sequences, and he's really fucking good in that. That show is amazing. I wish they had done more seasons of it, but it was such a good season that they kind of wanted to leave it as is instead of potentially fucking it up by continuing it. So I understand, but man, it was such a good show.
From time to time, whatever streaming service it ends up on, The Stand gets recommended to me. I feel like Paramount and Hulu have both recommended The Stand to me. It's a miniseries, like a post-apocalyptic miniseries.
Yeah, from it's a Stephen King book.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I've never seen it, but I know that one pops up. And I watched the first 2 episodes of The Leftovers, and then I was like, no thanks.
Dude.
I'm done.
Dude, The Leftovers. I've watched all of it. That is maybe the most bleak show I've ever seen. You know me, I've watched some bleak
You watched
show.
Chernobyl.
Yeah. It's even darker than Chernobyl.
Yeah, I'm just like,
oh my God.
I was just like, no, thank you, I'm done. So I don't think I've ever seen this guy in anything except Overlord.
I've seen him in Jack Ryan. I've seen him in Watchmen. He's now, I guess, one of the recurring characters in that 3 Body Problem show on Netflix that everyone really likes. I just haven't watched yet, but yeah, he's good. I like him in this and Overlord.
Yeah, he's really
he's not
good.
as good as Wyatt Russell is the
Dude.
fucking MVP of this movie.
Wyatt Russell.
I adore him in this.
And it's so ironic too that he was a super soldier in this and in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
As John Walker.
John Walker, yes, thank you.
I'm so happy he was able to pivot into like Marvel to where he can get more roles because he deserves it, dude. Like he's fucking awesome.
He's so good.
He's not in enough stuff.
He really inherited, for those that don't know, he's Kurt Russell's son. He really inherited Kurt Russell's ability to deliver one-liners. So like that moment when he's like, well, how hard do I press when they're looking for the landmines? And he's like, you'll know. He says it like the guy's an idiot.
He has such like a wry delivery. The way he says at the end of it, at the end of the movie, where he's like, "I'm done with this," when he's talking about the lighter, is such a fucking great last delivery for him on that. In that scene, it's so fucking good, dude. Just absolutely love him in this. There's also like multiple scenes where it's trippy, dude. After he has the like super soldier serum going in him, and you know, like they augment their voice a little bit. When he's talking to him through the gate after he's locked himself into the
our side shouldn't have it either,
dude. He looks like his dad in some instances in that scene.
He looks like a really young Kurt Russell.
Yeah, he looks like Kurt Russell from The Thing in multiple shots, and he sounds like him too, especially when his voice is slightly augmented in that scene. It was tripping me out, dude, because you know I watch a lot of classic like Kurt Russell movies, like with The Thing and all the like Snake Plissken. There's a lot of like Snake Plissken, I think, especially in this character. It's almost like the entire time they were writing this movie, in their mind's eye as they were writing it for like a classic Kurt Russell performance, the way that his character deliveries are, and just the way that he's kind of portrayed. And they got the next best thing, and they got his son, who's fucking also awesome.
Is Goldie Hawn the one that lost her fucking mind?
Who? Sorry,
Goldie Hawn. Is she the one that lost her fucking mind?
Maybe I no, but she's his mom, right?
Yeah, one of those went fucking nuts and like full on MAGA anti-vax.
Oh, cool.
Everything. I don't remember one of those ladies from that era is real fucking right side. I can't remember if it was Goldie Hawn or not, but I see when I look at his IMDb photo. Just look at him and tell me that you don't close one eye and see Kurt Russell and close the other eye and see Goldie Hawn.
Yeah,
Like, it's real fucking obvious who his parents
for
are.
sure.
I was looking here on IMDb. Did you know he's a former professional ice hockey player? He was a goalie.
He was like semi-pro and professional, which is wild. I did not know that.
No idea. So he can probably back up some of the shit his character says and does in this.
Yeah, you can throw a fucking punch if you're a hockey player.
Yeah, no kidding. You can take one too.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, he absolutely steals this movie. For me, everyone's good in it.
Can't wait to
but
talk
he
about
is...
till he gets dead by daylighted.
So we also have Matilda Olivier, who is Chloe
really
Lauren.
like her.
She's really good in this.
I looked her up.
Has she popped up in anything else that we're familiar with? Because I like her in this a lot.
She's been in a few things. She's primarily a stage actress, it seems, in France. So I have no idea why she just comes out of left field for this movie. But
honestly, you know why? Is it's difficult to find people who can speak multiple languages like she can. Because like if you remember, like when
not
they
in Europe,
when
it's
they
not.
needed when they needed to get for Inglourious Bastards, that was one of the reasons why Christoph Waltz was discovered, because he could speak like 4 different fucking languages. And then Tarantino had like an exhaustive search because, you know, he wanted to do all those scenes with like extended scenes in those, you know, different languages. So he ended up finding Christoph Waltz because he was actually able to show up for an audition, because he could honestly say, yeah, I can speak 4 languages, you know, like shit like that, because she speaks, you know, German, you know, English and French in the movie. So that's probably one of the reasons why she kind of popped up out of nowhere for this.
But yeah, she's really good.
I like her a lot in this. Probably the second most notable person in here after Wyatt Russell nowadays is Pilou Asbæk, who people will remember as Uncle Greyjoy in Game of Thrones, and also played Bato in the Ghost in the Shell live action remake.
That happened.
That movie is so weird.
It's such a strange Americanized anime movie. It's so weird.
Yeah. Ill-advised choices all over the place with that fucking movie. Pilou Asbæk is just chewing the fucking scenery as an evil Nazi son of a bitch in this. Pretty much.
He's so good in this.
He's so good in this.
We're gonna keep saying that because this entire cast was good.
Dude, how cool is the effect after he's been shot in the face?
Oh, dude.
Later on,
as
his face is like growing back together after he's taken the serum, is so good.
On Wikipedia, they have a scathing review from someone who just absolutely hated this movie, but apparently they end the review with, "But the makeup effects were really good," and that made me laugh out loud. The makeup effects were really good.
Yeah, he's great in this. Dude, his ability to be imposing at the end after he's taken the serum is so fucking good, because
he's
like
scary when he's an SS officer.
Yeah, he's scary and intense with that, and then like when he goes fucking Hulk mode at the end, he is terrifying.
Nazi Hulk.
Yep. Let's see.
We've never tested it on the living.
Next.
Responds by grabbing a second syringe.
A second one, yeah, just for good measure. So we also have John Magaro, who is playing Tibbet, who I've definitely seen in other shit. Do you, off the top of your head, know like what he's? It looks like The Big Short.
Is just
which I've seen him in.
He's the Joe Pesci character in this, yeah.
Yeah, for the most
sniper.
part. I like him. Oh, he was in Orange Is the New Black. Another person from Jack Ryan that he was in an Umbrella Academy, which I've seen, but I can't remember who he plays in it.
I feel like I've seen him in everything I've ever watched, but I also haven't watched half of this crap that he's in, so I don't know. I think he's just one of those guys, you know.
For sure.
I really like him, and I really like his character, because his character is such a douchebag, and you're ready to hate him. But like, he's actually kind of all right when push comes to shove. Yeah. He's actually kind of a good guy. It's just
he's a good guy. He's just kind of masquerade. Yeah, he's masquerading as an asshole to kind of get by.
It really has that air of he's just as scared as everyone else, but he can't let them know.
Right.
It really has an air of like someone that just can't show that they're afraid.
I really like the dynamic of how kind of abrasive he is about kind of like telling the kid to fuck off, and then eventually has kind of like the little character arc of like going to save the kid.
Him and the kid at the end.
Yeah, it's super cool. I like the.
I also loved his. Seriously, after all this shit, I thought they would just send us home.
Next up, we have Ian DeCastecker, who we know from primarily Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Who
one
is,
of the absolute best characters in that show.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love him. I wish he was in more shit.
Dude, him in this movie is incredible.
Dude, his accent being gone.
What'd you do to me, Ed? What'd you do to me?
He's really fucking great at masking his Scottish accent, because they let him talk with his normal accent in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So when I see him, that's the voice I think of, because, you know, like we watched like 100 fucking episodes of that show.
Yeah.
So hearing him with the lack of the accent like blew my mind, but he's really good in this. Dude, that scene when he's changing and he flips back and his neck
breaks,
snaps backwards. Oh my god, such a cool effect.
If you watch that with subtitles, I think it's like bones cracking or something when his neck.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah, but he looks like he's turning into like a Diablo villain or something, with the way the bones are sticking up around his neck and around his shoulders. Like he's getting spiky.
And they're like asymmetrical.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's real fucking cool.
It's real Nemesis energy.
Yeah. Next up, we have who's not in the movie for very long, but our buddy Grey Worm pops back up for a sec, also from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Who plays Charlie Dawson. I like the callback later on.
Did not even recognize him as Grey Worm.
Oh, the
did
Grey Worm
not
dude?
recognize him at all.
Yeah, he's now actually recently been popping back up. Did you know he is playing I think the main character in the Interview with the Vampire series. It's ongoing.
I did not even know that was a thing.
Yeah, he's not playing Lestat, but he's playing Louis Dupont de Loc. I don't know.
He was in 7 episodes of Doctor Who?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Vendor. I wonder if that was
6 episodes of Broadchurch. And that was before Game of Thrones.
I wonder if that was on Doctor Who. Yeah, it's probably after we'd kind of fallen off of it, I would imagine.
Yeah. But no, I really like him.
I like him too. He's good.
He's really underrated. I think it's because his character doesn't have a whole lot to do in Game of Thrones, but when he does do something, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he was really. It was a very understated performance, and even when he wasn't really asked to do much, like just in the way he kind of carried himself, he was always very, very solid in that show.
When I think of Grey Worm, I still think of that scene where they try to assassinate him in that alleyway, and that episode ends with you thinking he's dying after he killed everyone that tried to kill him.
Yeah, he's such a badass. Dude.
Oh, Grey Worm's so awesome. Good.
Yeah, Grey Worm's fucking awesome.
He'd have been a good Hawkman.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now that I think about it.
Next up, we have Dominic Applewhite, who plays Rosenfeld. Did you think that for sure Rosenfeld was going to end up like turning into something because of what they had him like plugged up?
It's a really good red snapper.
Yeah, I absolutely thought watching it. You know, we watched this in the theater like 7 years ago.
I was just waiting for it.
I had forgotten about 90% of what happens, so I was just fucking waiting for it. And it's a really good kind of like misdirect, because I absolutely thought that he was gonna fucking turn.
He also has one of my favorite lines in the movie when he's like, "I need you to help me out here," or something. He's like, "It's a 2-person gun, you asshole."
I love that part so much. And just to bring it full circle, Joseph Quinn, who is Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four, is in this for a bit as Grunauer. So
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he's I think he gets killed very, very quickly in this, so he's not in the movie for very long. But yeah, old Eddie Munson.
He was just there, and then he wasn't.
Okay, yeah, where do you want to start? Because we've kind of like circled a lot of the cast and everything, but one thing I want to talk about, I love how they basically spend no time trying to have a scientific explanation for the zombies.
Yeah.
It's just
They
there was
never explain the
experiments.
tar, whatever the tar is.
They just talk about how there was Nazi experiments and there was tar that's like always been beneath this village, and that's it. We don't have like painstakingly like entries of lore trying to figure out like what the scientific explanation. Like, nope, shit happens. It's very like it plays out very much like a video game in that way.
Yeah.
Like it's very, we're gonna present this stuff that you need to know in the most basic way possible to keep the momentum of the movie going, which I really appreciate. Like, let's talk about that opening scene. Like,
Dude.
man,
so I remember when we were in the theater thinking, God damn, when that scene ended. And then we got to the landmine later, and I was just like, okay, this movie ain't fucking around.
it is not fucking
This
around.
movie has no chill, and I love it.
Yeah, they're in the plane about to drop into Normandy for about 5 minutes, and then like that's it. That's the only lead up you get, is like it's their sergeant talking to them about like their mission, their basic mission in this movie.
The fucking
is
Shocker, by the way.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I love that guy. He shows up from time to time and stuff. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a great character
badass
actor
in this. I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Ain't none of you got a cigarette? Really? Damn.
I love him in this. He's so fucking good. But their core mission is they're trying to take down this communications tower. That way, their friendly planes that like in a like, was it like a few hours that they have until D-Day? So they're on like a time limit.
Yeah, they had. I don't think they had a full 24 hours, but it's like 6 a.m. is when it's going to happen. They have like basically one night. They have until 6 a.m. to accomplish their mission.
Yeah, they have to go on this
D-Day
comms tower
fails.
that way. Yeah, otherwise all of their friendly ships are going to get shot down because of the comms tower. So they're trying to take out this tower. And dude, it's so fucking intense. What's funny too is, I was telling you I had just watched Band of Brothers recently, and Band of Brothers is about the 101st Airborne, and actually has scenes at the beginning of the episodes where they're actually interviewing some of the actual soldiers that were from the 101st, and it's mind-blowing to me that anyone even survived these drops out of these planes.
I can't imagine.
Dude, as you're descending, as you're just watching all of these planes get eviscerated and planes going down and people getting like taken out, like it's crazy. And then to not only like live through that, but then actually survive the rest of the war that follows, like it's fucking crazy that anyone made it through, dude. It's just crazy.
The fact that you can survive dropping in like that and then die just stepping on a landmine, talking about the book you're writing, like Jesus.
There were some fucked up things that happened at the very end of the Band of Brothers novel that they ended up adapting into the show. You want to talk about a fucked up way to go? After Hitler had been killed, like after he committed suicide, like they had that kind of like lull period where they were just kind of waiting for the Nazis to surrender.
Yeah.
Some people died in like car accidents and shit as they were just kind of like vibing in fucking Switzerland and shit. It's crazy. They have a few segments of that kind of like tracking some of the soldiers like in that time after, where like the main character is talking about how like like the Nazis are surrendering and the war's officially over, but people are still dying. It's so brutal.
Yeah.
Just like to make it all the way through and then to die by something as like random as a car accident, something like that. It's just like, and along the lines of like the landmine, it's like to make it through that, just to die like that, it fucking sucks, but it happened.
Yeah.
But dude, that leads into the landmine scene you talked about with Wyatt Russell, who is their corporal and kind of like leading them on this mission. But yeah, you want to say the landmine line again because this is so fucking great.
He's instructing them to get their bayonets out and probe in front of them and to walk in the same line that he walked in, right? Because he didn't step on one and he was out front. So to get them to him, they're supposed to like line up carefully and they're supposed to probe the ground in front of them with their bayonets and supposed to push and see if there's a landmine in front of them before they step. And I think it's I think it's John Magaro, right? Tibbet. That's like, well, how hard do we push? And he's like, you'll know. Like, and he says it like he's talking to a 4-year-old. Like
that delivery is just fucking prime Kurt Russell, dude.
Know.
It's like,
like it's so good.
I love it.
That's probably my absolute favorite line in the whole thing because it's such a dick line in such a tense situation. Because dude, that guy just turns into pink mist, and he's in like
he's just gone. He's gone
when it happens.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Like my God,
and he was the person who was like the least affected by the situation. Like he was. Part of it could have just been him kind of like, putting on a pretense, but he seems legitimately just like chilling when he's talking about his book he's gonna write. He's just very, very upbeat, and then he's just gone.
Yeah, it's just like, God damn. So after that, getting to the ground and then that's when I was just like, oh, this movie ain't fucking around. Like this movie's got no chill.
This movie has like one of the most like cool fucking establishing shots I've ever seen when I think it's before Ed meets back up with Wyatt Russell and the rest of them. But you remember the scene when after he lands, he is walking in a quiet moment and all you see is like the silhouette of the paratroopers in the trees.
Yes.
Man, they're only illuminated by like fires in the background from crashed planes.
Yeah.
It's a fucking gorgeous shot.
It's
and it's
awful in the best way, right?
Oh my God, but it's such a fucking great shot, and the way that it's lit is amazing.
Dude, okay, first off, real quick before we move on, you're talking about how of all the ways to die in this, right? The guy was in the plane when the flak comes through the bottom of the plane and kills him, and then you've got the medic. That's just like no one. Like, they're all holding him back, and they're just like, he's already dead. And he's like, let me save him. Like it's just like Jesus. But they're not even on mission yet, and that guy's already out.
Dude, when he's about to when the main character is about to jump out of the plane, when the back of their plane catches on fire, and you just see someone
towards it.
They're sliding towards the fire. It's like it's such a fucking crazy, well composed opening sequence. Because like, that sequence lasts about probably like 3 minutes or so, and it feels like it lasts about 10 seconds because it's just like nonstop shit hitting the fan.
You're in the shit. Great. You feel like you're in the shit.
When he's descending too. There's a lot of cool kind of like first person shots of like watching some of the kind of chaos happening around him too, and it is a great like simulator for like the fucking craziness that would have been actually going through this. And
it feels like
this was a real. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it feels like it's really taken from like interviews with war vets because this is probably one of the most realistic depictions I've ever seen of what it must be like trying to invade the enemy territory in a war.
You should check out Band of Brothers if you have HBO, because it actually follows the 101st Airborne. So like you see this scene in Band of Brothers as well, of them kind of like waiting to jump out of the plane. They're waiting for the green light, and then once their planes start getting hit, it's also fucking crazy.
Jesus, isn't the 101st also what Bucky was in that? Captain America was trying to join? Was the 101st?
I do not know. It very well could be.
I could have swore. Sure. I just watched that again recently. So I could have swore, but yeah, man. Bokeem Woodbine, right? Their sergeant, the Shocker.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see him in this movie And then all he does is get to the ground, and he's surrounded by Nazis who just murder the fuck out of him.
Yeah, these are like despicable scum of the earth. Like, they enjoy killing people.
These are not the Nazis that you read about or see in documentaries where like a British soldier and a Nazi will run into each other, pull their guns on each other, and slowly back away and lower their guns and just walk the other direction. Like, these are Nazis that are loving their job.
Yeah, these are like scum of the earth, SS elite pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Just the fucking worst. Let's talk some more about
let's talk some more about how bad Nazis are. So it really sounded like you were setting up to say that. Oh, real quick, we need to shout out Mark Rissman also, who is the guy that tries to chase down Chloe that gets the grenade in his mouth. Holy shit, this guy, man. That scene's so fucking awesome when they have the pin applied to the tape on his mouth. How I don't think I've ever seen that before, but that's a great little bit of detail for the scene. The best part of that is later when it cuts to Wyatt Russell when they're underground and he's like, well, it sounds like our diversion did the trick or whatever. Like, just so like haphazardly, just like, well, sound like it worked. Like,
it's fucking great,
like,
dude.
Holy shit. But yeah, this guy, he's a real scumbag in this movie, and I love him.
Man. Their actors do a great job of they are cartoonish with the way that they're evil, but they're never they're never like silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They always have like an air of like intimidation about them, even though they are playing like cartoon character level of evil, you know?
Yeah.
Like but like especially with like him and Pilo Asbæk they're menacing as fuck throughout the whole movie. It's really, really well executed. So what's fucked up too is like you saw at the beginning of the movie how many people they were supposed to have on board for this mission. There only ends up being like 4 or 5 of them. And then real quickly, is Chase the photographer?
Yes.
I think Chase is the photographer. They at one point they have Pilo Asbæk kind of like taken prisoner, and they stupidly send up just one dude who's the photographer to get their prisoner.
A photographer that's in the 101st with military training, though.
True, but you should also like maybe send more than one dude to retrieve.
That's where the mistake was made to me. Was they should have
like, you send at least 2 people,
especially after everything they just went through to get where they are.
Also, even though he's been, you know, like he's gotten the shit beat out of him by Wyatt Russell, Pilo Asbæk is like 6'3". He's a big fucking dude. Like he's got like a foot on.
Fucking Fitz is not 6'3".
Yeah, it's like even messed up. He's got like a solid fucking foot over Fitz. So like maybe send a second guy. That's like the only, like literally my only complaint about the entire movie is like it was silly. Because like they easily could have had 2 people go up, and then he just knocks the second person unconscious really quickly, and then shoots Chase. You know?
Yeah, it
was possible.
It really comes down to Wyatt Russell's character underestimated the amount of damage Pilo Asbæk can take. Right. That's
actually a good point. It's like him underestimating him, and it does suck how he gets killed, because he shoots him when he's blindfolded, pretty much, because he has a sack over his head. He's blind firing, and he just happens to hit him a couple times in the chest. Yeah, so it sucks.
But dude, that scene though, he's just laying on the ground, like, how bad is it? Is it bad? And he's like bleeding out. Like, oh
yeah, he's like, don't let me die, yeah, don't let me die. It's like, man, it's heartbreaking, because you know that should happen all the time.
But that scene is nuts, because you go from one horror to another horror, right? Because you got the horror of war, and then Ed grabs the syringe and sticks it in him, and then you have fucking body horror after that as he sits back up, and he's like, "Oh no, I feel fine, I feel great." And he
says like, "I feel real good,
I feel real good."
Yeah, but I'm and then he like downs an entire canteen of water
and then crushes the canteen. And
Yeah.
the way I'm just gonna keep calling him Fitz. This is easier than his real name. But the way that like he's moving, like he's moving his head almost like robotically to look at the canteen and stuff. Like it's not a natural movement. Like I don't. It's hard to describe. It's like turn head, tilt head, turn eyes to look at canteen. Like they're instructions almost. It's really creepy to watch. And then the way he just kind of like pops up on the ground and everything, and then just starts fucking taking people out. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Casually.
just casually.
It is. Yeah.
A thousand year right needs 1,000-year soldiers.
Such a good line, dude. God, this movie's great. This is such a fucking underrated movie. I wish more people were.
I'm trying. I don't remember the lines, but some of the best lines from Wyatt Russell are in that scene. He's just like, "You feeling okay?" Like, because they just watched him die, right?
Yeah.
And, like the look on everybody's face and the way that like he's barely keeping himself together because he's the guy in command and he has to. It's so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was just looking for their commander's line before he got murdered the fuck out of him by all the Nazis. Any of you got a cigarette? Or any of you Krauts got a cigarette? No one? Sweet Jesus. And then they just mow him down. They like each empty a clip into him. There's like 4 of them. 4 of them. It's nuts, but yeah. One of the most evil lines in the movie is from Peleu Asbak too, and he says they've been given a purpose.
Man, that's brutal.
Yeah, I was trying to find anything. There's no quotes in here from this scene from Wyatt Russell, but like it's just like, goddamn, him trying to keep his composure while talking to a guy that should be dead is really good.
Yeah, like his only reaction to it at one point, I think he just says like, "Holy Christ!"
Yeah,
you know, he can't even.
But it's not like an over the top like, you know, Lloyd Bridges like "Holy Christ" or something. It's just like, "Holy Christ!" Like, what am I looking at? Like,
yeah.
Why are you still alive?
Yeah, I also like the so they're at the house of what is the character's name?
Dude, the kid with the baseball, that whole scene.
Oh, dude, that's a really intense scene. Yeah, so their soldiers are hiding out in the attic while Peleu Asbak is paying a visit to what is the main lady's character's name?
Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe. And she has her little brother hide up there with them, and he, you know, is supposed to be asleep from what she tells Peleu Asbak, but then he drops the baseball. And there's one of like is it like the like kind of like second in command lieutenant?
It's the guy
dude?
that gets the grenade in the mouth.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he ascends the stairs
because he's almost mustache twirling for how evil he's still like you were talking about. But it's a setup for it to make you be like, fuck yeah, when he gets the grenade, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so he's going up into the attic to check out the sound, and they have the little kid stand at the top of the stairs with the baseball. But like when you pan over and you see them with their rifles drawn on the stairs, is such a fucking great moment where you're just like, I don't know, on the edge of your seat.
I can't explain it. I can't really tell you why I feel this way, but when it shows them kneeling down next to the stairs with their guns trained on the guys, there's something about their body language that is almost like you feel the panic and the tension while they're there with their guns up. I don't know what it is. They just look like 2 soldiers kneeling with their guns. There's something subtle about the way that they're, I don't know if it's their breathing, their rhythm, there's something that when you watch it, you just feel the tension in their body language.
Yeah, they're really conveying the idea that
we're fucked.
if this gunfight starts, we're gonna take out the people on the stairs, but then that's it.
Yeah,
they're sitting ducks.
We lose
they're
the
fucked.
war if we have to take out these people on the stairs.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of intensity behind everything because of how important their mission is and because of how they're on a time limit. Like every second is so crucial to their mission, especially when at this point they haven't even figured out what their mission is going to consist of because
they have no idea what they're walking into, and at this point we don't either.
Yeah, they don't know what they're
we
walking
just know
into.
Something's not right.
And they only have like 5 dudes when they're originally supposed to have like 30.
Yeah.
For this mission, and they're going into this. Is it like a church? Is that what it is?
It's supposed to have been a church. There's an establishing shot of this village that shows the church on the hill and the houses. It's fucking Tristram from Diablo, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's
for sure.
fucking Tristram.
Yeah. And they have at least, I think they at one point say like 40 soldiers inside the base, not counting some of the dudes like roaming on patrol and shit.
Right.
So yeah, they're fucked. Like this mission is already fucked. So, and that adds more kind of like heartbreak and makes like the death of Chase and stuff like more devastating because like every dude is so important.
Yeah.
Right now because of how undermanned they are. But dude, I like when they're walking through the house and you hear the absolutely horrific sounds coming from the other room that is the ants, and it's just like she's sick. It's like, with fucking what? And like the look on all their faces as they hear her. There's a fucking Diablo mini boss in the room next door.
Fresh meat. Yeah. Dude. The looks on their faces, and it's like, wait, what is she sick with? Just a little bit of zombie-itis. That's all.
Yeah. She's got a bad case of the Wolfenstein.
Got a bad case of the Wolfenstein. Oh, man.
Jesus. Yeah, so eventually...
This movie.
Eventually, Pilo Asbeck is able to get away, and, dude, as he's leaving... I keep calling him Wyatt Russell. What the fuck is Wyatt Russell's character's name?
Corporal
Ford?
Lewis?
Ford, is that his name?
Yeah, Lewis Ford.
Yeah, Lewis Ford. Yeah, dude, he shoots Waffner, Pilo Asbeck's character, through the side of his jaw.
Yeah.
And you don't get the full extent of how much damage he's done to him until later when they're actually back at the Nazi base.
He's got some real Emotep energy to him when he
I was thinking
himself.
that too with like when you see the teeth through the side of the missing jaw. I had the exact same thought too of Imhotep.
I think it's intentional because it looks a lot like the Mummy.
This has a bit of the same vibes from the Mummy.
It really does.
Yeah, where it's like parts of it are very dark, but they maintain a bit of lightheartedness, especially with like the character interactions to keep it from becoming like too dour.
And there, you really feel the stakes and how important every man is in the Mummy too.
Yeah. I think it definitely had to have been an influence. Also, it being kind of like almost like a serial in the way, like even with the beginning title card, they present Overlord in like an old kind of like 40s and 50s style interstitial with the logo.
Yeah, the logo and the poster designs and stuff really makes me think Inglourious Bastards too.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. Yeah, but yeah, you don't see the full damage that Ford's done to Waffner until later on when he dude, his like half of his fucking jaw is just hanging, and it's such a killer fucking effect. And the CGI in this movie when it's done is really good too. There's not a whole lot of like instances where I'm questioning, because this wasn't like a huge budget.
Yeah,
this was a fair, for the scale of it, a pretty low budget movie. It looks great.
I think it's
on like a technical level.
I remember reading, I don't know, what was it, like 30 million, 38 million, and it made like 41 million in its opening weekend or something.
Yeah, let's see.
I remember it made its money
budget
back.
Of 38.
Yeah. It made its money back like opening weekend or something, and then it dropped off almost off of a cliff for like the second weekend.
It's a shame. Making this movie on this isn't like a huge scale movie, but this for 38 million.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty fucking good. Like Nosferatu had a lot more than 38 million, and it didn't have the kind of like think of the opening scene for this, like how ambitious that opening scene is with them coming out of the planes. Like for $38 million budget, it all looks fucking great because that's shoestring for any type of movie that's showing like sequences of wide scale action and shit like that.
Yeah, here I had it wrong. It made 41 million total. It debuted to 10.1 million, and then in the second week made 3.9 million.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it had a real steep drop off. But it made 41 million total, half here and then half in the other markets. So it's a shame. I really hoped. I remember hoping at the time, because this was 2018, that it would find a following on streaming, but I've never really seen it streaming anywhere.
Yeah, it's gone really under the radar
and
over
again,
time. Sadly,
critics like it and audiences like it. Just there wasn't much of an audience. I don't know why. It's a good movie, and I just watched the first Captain America movie again recently. It has a lot of that energy, but darker. You know, like it.
I wonder how much they regretted not just saying fuck it and making it Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
because
I wonder why they didn't.
I feel like it wouldn't have made a huge difference at the box office because, realistically speaking, like, Wolfenstein is a popular gaming series, but it's not like we're talking like Halo or something like that that's super like kind of widely known. It's not. It's more kind of on the scale of like Uncharted, to where it's like a really, really popular game, but it's not this huge IP. You know,
it has its audience.
I think it would have. I think it would have had a stronger footing on streaming services had it been Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
because at that point it is more like widely accessible to its audience, and would have probably more of like a cult following if it did have like an IP tie-in. But I don't know. It's weird. Because
there's somewhere in here, under development on Wikipedia, the initial story for the film was conceived by J.J. Abrams. I was like, I just fucking bet it was, because I've played Wolfenstein, my man. Conceived by J.J. Abrams, sure.
Right. Yeah. Conceived by J.J. Abrams as he's fucking playing the new Colossus or whatever the new Wolfenstein game was. Yeah. It's a shame though. I hope over time it's at least found like a little bit of an audience, but it is really depressing.
I wonder if it had been tied into Cloverfield, if that would have helped it.
Yeah, I don't know, because like they tied in Cloverfield Paradox, and really like the stunt marketing of just releasing that immediately after that Super Bowl was it's kind of like gimmick, to where like it being a Cloverfield thing, helped it, but it didn't like push it over the edge of being positively received. And yeah, but that's different.
I'm betting that
situation.
Fourth Cloverfield movie, if it ever gets made, I bet they had wished that they made it before that lady was in Loki, because she's probably a lot more expensive now.
Oh, it was Sylvie in Cloverfield Paradox?
Not Sylvie, the head of the TVA, the one that everyone thinks, the one that everyone thinks is a God, what is the term they use? They think she's another version of Kang. Is her backstory? Is what
variant?
Yeah, everyone thinks she's a variant of Kang. Is what she learned from Miss Minutes that they haven't revealed yet.
Gotcha.
But that's why Kang wanted her to run the TVA, because she's him.
Gotcha.
Again, that's fan theories, but everyone was expecting when Jonathan Majors, to tie this back into the beginning of the podcast, everyone thought when Jonathan Majors was fired, they would proceed with her and just write it so that she was a variant of him. But the fourth movie is supposed to be Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character and her character from Cloverfield Paradox together. crossed over.
Interesting. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the fourth movie, but the fourth movie, it's just in development forever, I guess. I don't know. J.J. Abrams says, no, it's still happening. It's still definitely happening. Stay tuned.
I feel like
both of those actresses are a lot more expensive now than they used to be.
For sure. And Cloverfield Paradox really, really damaged their kind of... And now, granted, I think if you made a new Cloverfield thing that was good, I think it would be successful.
Even if they had made it right, even if it came out the year after Paradox, I don't think these movies are so tangentially tied together. I don't think Cloverfield Paradox has hurt the brand. I don't know what they're afraid of.
But it hurt the brand,
especially
from
the first two movies are so strong.
I think it hurt the brand from the studio's perspective because it made them gun shy, even though they're not taking into account all of the different factors in play. Most of which, like, most importantly, is just not a very good movie. If like the most important thing would have been just make another good fucking movie.
Yeah,
and people will show up for it.
You got 2 out of 3. That's pretty good. Those first 2 movies are pretty good.
And 10 Cloverfield Lane is amazing.
Oh god, that movie's so good.
Like fucking incredible.
But yeah, I wonder how much it would have helped if this movie was the 4th movie in the Cloverfield series.
Yeah. I wonder if it just came down to them wanting to kind of keep it more like self-contained, as far as like how if you keep Overlord pretty much intact and only make very, very minor changes, like what aspects of Cloverfield would even like make its way into here? Maybe just have more kind of like creatures for them to shoot, because like they find in the woods this like thing they call a jackal, which is like the mutated like dog thing, but that is kind of dropped. So I wonder if that was like a kind of leftover thing from the earlier drafts when it potentially was going to be a Cloverfield thing, because they never really circle back around to that.
They never do. That was also a good moment with Wyatt Russell too, because he's like getting onto them, like basically like it's just a fucking dog. What of it? Let's move on. But his voice trails off. He keeps saying whatever it is he's saying, but he
doesn't believe what he's saying.
He doesn't believe what he's saying either. He's staring at it just as hard as they are.
Yeah, because it's not okay.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So at what point did this movie hook you, Jeff? What movie did you get hooked?
I just got phantom pains just hearing that sentence. Man, when he's able to pull himself off of that chain and he like falls back onto it.
That's why I couldn't suspend my disbelief.
I
just fuck this movie, man. Just fuck this movie. They're not dealing with racism. He's pulling himself off of a hook. I just can't with this movie.
Yeah. Such a great fucking scene though, dude. Like, yeah, man, it hurts to watch, dude. The sounds he makes when he gets dropped on that hook, too. Like, he's such a good actor. God. I love Wyatt Russell. So fucking great.
Yeah,
cast him in more fucking movies.
We need him in more stuff.
He's fucking great.
We need him as like an Indiana Jones villain or something, with like Carl Urban as Indiana Jones.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
And him being like another Bullock, like a different character that's been there all along that we just didn't know about.
Yeah, man, he's so good. I think especially with like how we keep circling back to fucking Marvel shit, but I'm glad with Thunderbolts looking like it's gonna be pretty successful, just based on like what characters they have in play, and it looks like it's gonna be pretty funny. I think they're going to give him more to do in it versus what he had to do in the Captain America TV show, and I think he will start to get more shit following
it. And his origin's out of the way thanks to that show, so he's just going to show up and be John Walker.
And I think they're going to flesh out his character more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have even bothered, because they had enough characters with the rest of them. They didn't need to really incorporate John Walker, so I think they have like an idea in place to expand him as a character and give Wyatt Russell more shit to do, because he's fucking amazing and deserves more high profile roles for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I love his like fights with Waffner at the end, dude, it's so awesome when he rolls over the canister that Ed shoots, and Waffner's just laughing at him, and then he sees like what he's actually going for when he's about to get when he's about to shoot the canister is fucking great.
I love that he's laughing, but Wyatt Russell starts laughing with him.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's fucking great.
And he's just like, when he's Ed, and then that's when he looks over and Ed just shoots it.
So good. So fucking good, dude. Love this movie.
Our side shouldn't have it either.
Yeah, his line delivery at the very end, it's like, yeah, I don't think I need this anymore.
I do love the irony.
That
though.
shit is written. You cannot tell me they didn't write that with classic. That is something fucking McCready would say,
yes.
and in the exact like that is 110% fucking classic Kurt Russell, and like it is not an accident that they ended up casting his son. Like I swear, like
we couldn't get Kurt Russell, so we
shit.
got his son.
We got the next best thing. We got his
a
son,
Russell,
also
just not the Russell.
Yeah, we got his son, who's also the fucking former professional hockey player, who's also an awesome actor.
Now that I know that, he looks like a goddamn hockey player.
Yeah, he like, man, love Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, so good.
So good. I think we've kind of like touched on everything.
Sound design,
the movie.
The sound design.
Oh yeah,
in this movie, even so, the monster stuff it does really good with. The thing that impresses me watching this a second time is the sound design at the beginning of the movie with the war stuff, because I was thinking about it last night, and I was like, that movie portrays the horrors of war pretty good at the beginning of the movie, right? That's what it starts us off with, for God's sake. Think about how much is happening. That somehow is bombastic, in your face, loud, without being loud, without being obnoxious, without... And I remember in the theaters feeling those flak cannons and the explosions in the sky. I remember fucking feeling it.
It's like controlled,
but
it's not like
it's not too much. It's all over the place, but it's balanced so well to within an inch of its life that you feel it and you get it, and it's immersive. But you're not just like, oh god damn it, and turning down the volume. Like, shut the fuck up, movie. Like, what's your problem? Like,
one really good example of that is the sound design of the bullets passing through their plane.
Yeah,
is so specific and so fucking terrifying. Because they sell it, dude.
There's something about the sound design. It really stands out. It's good through the whole movie. I want to make that clear. And it's really good with the monsters and everything. But the reason I think it blows me away so much at the beginning is monsters aren't real. And the shit that we're seeing here is. And I've seen this kind of stuff again and again and again in movies and TV. And there's usually a point where it's like, okay, I need fucking subtitles because I have no idea what this guy just said. Because they're trying to convey what this movie does, like, perfectly. Like, the mixing in this movie is so good and the sound design is so good that it needs to be said. It needs to be stated.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's good with the whole movie
call.
And it's good with the monsters, but I have a lot of examples to compare that to. The thing that really blew me away, where I really notice how good it is. Because, the whole thing with good sound design, good cinematography, good creature design is you're not thinking about them in terms of design when you watch the movie, right? That's the goal. You want to get sucked into it. So there's something about the beginning of it where I can't help but compare it to other war movies and stuff that I've seen, where I was just like, God damn, this movie did what they all did, but also did what I'm trying to do with the goddamn remote and the subtitles while watching any other movie.
The music is really good too.
The music is really good, and their use of it. Not just is it good, but the way they use it's really good.
The music throughout that scene, especially there's a bit we talked about before where the plane is tilted back and the people are like sliding back into the fire. There's a bit of the score that's happening that's really fucking outstanding as that scene is taking place.
I got to tell you, when that scene was happening, I didn't
man.
notice any music. I was just like,
Oh,
God
man.
damn, as he's sliding
Yeah.
into hell. Like,
Yeah, but it's like the music is really controlled too, to like you said, like how the sound mixing is perfectly done to where it's not distracting and never takes you out of it.
yeah.
I
I never reached for the remote either. You
the
know,
music is really well timed, and like it escalates when it needs to, and it kind of like settles down when it wants you really focusing.
in contrast that with last time, right, when we were talking about Below. How they're, because it's basically a 90s movie, right, the way it's made,
takes you out of it.
There's a few times that you're just like,
it's artificial.
Okay, score, just sit down for a moment.
Yeah.
We had that. We talked about that also with Crimson Tide, I believe. Occasionally, it's just like, oh, okay, movie. Can you sit down? I'm trying to hear what Denzel Washington's saying.
Yeah, it's like artificially trying to be epic, and like the term you use is really accurate, like bombastic.
Yeah.
It's like too bombastic. But here everything is very controlled. And it's just a really well fucking acted and well put together movie.
And it is appropriately beloved by anyone that sees it. It just, more people need to see this movie.
More people need to fucking watch it because it's fucking incredible. Yeah, I love how simplistic it is. It's just a guys on a mission movie. And the characters are all really likable.
You know, we're not really digging into a lot of plot details and stuff here, but like the plot, one of the reasons why this movie is so good is it's so simple. You know, it's not convoluted. It's not overly complicated. We don't talk about the tar. The tar has just always been there. You know, and I could see that tar being a really good vehicle for tying it into Cloverfield.
But you know what you need to know for the movie to function and constantly have forward momentum.
And if we get a sequel, maybe we'll talk about the tar. You know, like it's it's interesting.
It has like, and it's interesting too, like tying it back in like Wolfenstein shit. It has the momentum of like a really good narrative in a video game. Of like, you are presented with the information you need to know to get from point A to point B, but it isn't like it doesn't like buckle under the weight of it like trying to establish lore and shit. You just know like they don't have time to dick around and be slowed down by trivial detail because they're on a fucking time limit, and it's a really important mission, and they're drastically outnumbered, so they're just kind of like doing the best they can with what they know.
Yeah, and
it's fucking phenomenal.
It's so well made. It's such a good, interesting movie. And you know, real quick, because I know we're way past time because we went long at the beginning, and I don't want to talk about this movie too much because it is a really good movie, and I want people to go see it. I don't want to just end up talking in circles about it, but talking about control in this movie, they do a really good job of, it's not just a zombie movie, right? Like you don't see a whole lot of the monsters or super soldiers, but when you do, it's just like, goddamn. And they don't just keep putting them on screen like, huh? You like this? You know, it's not like Homer Simpson with the donuts, right? Like they're just, they just keep putting them out there a little bit at a time, and then you get the big bad of the movie and the big climactic fight, and then we're done. Like it mostly all happens in the third act, in the final act.
Yeah.
It's really well controlled. And that dog, I see why they left the dog in, if that is a Cloverfield thing that was removed, because it's, with how controlled the use of the monsters are at the end of the movie, it's a really good, like, the fuck is that? Like, leading up into later in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just a really well made and really well edited movie too.
You want to know what also my last note that I really appreciate?
No shaky cam?
Well, that, thank fucking God. But when you can make like your third act feel like it's almost running in real time, because it almost feels like it's running in real time when they are busting into the church.
I almost wonder if that's the idea, because it really feels like they are.
Because it is a constant theme of the movie with its plot, with like they're on a time limit, and like later on,
Now,
like
they say
have
at the beginning, I wonder if we should go back and time it. They say at the beginning of that scene that the planes are coming in like 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's an exchange with Ford to Ed where he says, like the D-Day thing is happening in 20 minutes, and I've set the timer for 18.
Yeah.
So everything down here at 18 minutes
I wonder
gets blown
if everything
to hell or
after
whatever.
that is like 20 minutes
Is in real
or
time.
18. Yeah.
Because it's probably pretty close, because like it makes it feel like you're on the mission with them.
Yeah.
And you feel like the ticking like time bomb of it. Yeah, because
Can we just take a moment also and appreciate how Chloe is not fucking useless?
yeah, Chloe's awesome.
She seems like she belongs there.
Dude, when she
not
gets the
not in hell,
flamethrower,
but like she seems like she could be like part of the 101st, you know?
yeah, she's a total badass. Like when she gets the flamethrower, is pretty metal.
And she has a character moment of she's a badass and she hates it. She hates that she knows how to do with the things that she does and everything, because war has forced her to do this to protect her brother. You know? Yeah.
and she's a cool character, and I like the performance a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the actress and I like the character. Just everything about this this movie. Real quick, I just want to throw this in. We talked about it before we were recording. But in the on Wikipedia, in the critical response, someone was interviewing what was it? Jovan Adipo?
Yeah.
They were interviewing him, and they brought up there's a critic somewhere. The guy interviewing him brings up a critic that says that the movie leans into stereotypes, or it's reluctant to lean into stereotypes or racism for the sake of historical accuracy. And his response was just, well, we're not trying to make a historical movie. like, yeah. You know, like his complete quote says, casting was less about race and more about those characteristics that help put together the strongest cast possible. But I just love the idea of like, oh my God, this zombie movie is not being historically accurate on the topic of racism. Like, I beg your pardon? Like, did you watch the movie? That wasn't the goal, my man. Like,
yeah. It's getting bogged down in shit like that. That it's just like, what are you doing, man?
What are we talking about here? Like,
I
really think it boils down to what you said before, when I brought this up before we were recording, where it was going to get clicks if he wrote about this.
Yeah.
If he wrote about how this movie is not historically accurate.
He figured out a controversial take on it that would get traction online,
and it would get algorithms to pick it up.
He would get lots and lots of hits on his article or review, whatever the fuck it was. And if you asked him about it now, he'd probably tell you the same thing. Like, yeah, that was kind of fucking dumb, but I wanted the hits.
But I got the paycheck.
I got the paycheck. Yeah. I was like, whatever, dude, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah,
but,
I just love the response of, well, we're not trying to make your movie's not historically accurate. We're not trying to make a historical movie. Like, that's not the goal.
It's you squint your eyes and it's fucking Wolfenstein, dude. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to include that because that, like I said last night, that made me laugh out loud when I read it.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, great movie, great. Go watch.
Yeah, great movie, great. No notes other than the racism thing. No notes. You know what this movie needs, Jeff? More racism. Don't you get that from the Nazis? Don't you get enough of that from the Nazis in real life and in the movie?
Nobody take that quote out of context.
One of my favorite jokes in Everything to Guppy is occasionally Will or Gary they'll say something like I just did, and the other one will be like, hey, for no reason, can I get a clean read on that? and just try to get him to say it again, but no one talking over it. And I'm like, no, I think I'm good with the one take.
Yeah.
Like, no, I just really need a clean read on that. What for? Just preservation. I just need a clean read on that.
Archival.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure it's
just for archival. Sure. That's one of my favorite ongoing jokes in that podcast.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, if you would like to follow the show more,
and why wouldn't
you can find us exactly. We are on Twitter at SPR Filmcast. We can follow us for show updates.
Still there.
Any ratings or reviews on whichever platform you happen to find us on is always helpful.
5-star rating, positive text review.
Yeah. If you found us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe for further content.
Smash that bell.
And please share us out to your friends. And if you've seen Overlord,
share us out to your zombie aunt.
Yeah.
I like how you had no idea what to do with that. Yeah.
I just love the movie where they're like, yeah, she's sick. with what? Like 28 days later itis? Like, what am I hearing? Yeah, but please share us out to your friends.
Case of the zombies.
Man. And with that, Ron, what are we covering next time?
Well, we're on a bit of a streak here.
I don't know if I'd say that, but you can continue.
Bit of a supernatural World War II killing Nazis streak. There's, by the way, can I just throw in real quick? There's something about any movie I watch where I'm gonna anyway. There's something about every movie I watch where we're killing Nazis that makes me just want to go back to Raiders and Last Crusade.
The ultimate.
Ugh, Nazis. I hate these guys. Anyways, I don't know about supernatural stuff, but there's definitely a lot of Nazis. I almost said zombies. Definitely a lot of Nazis getting what they deserve in my next pick. I don't think you saw this movie. I didn't either, and I think we both wanted to see it. I think it's time to watch Sisu.
I
think it's time to watch a guy out there in the aisles of Walmart prospecting for gold, and some Nazis are about to surrender and the war is about to end. And Jeff, they want his gold, and he just isn't going to let them have it. He's just kind of sick of their Nazi shit.
This was the one that was like marketed as like John Wick, but in World War II, right?
Yes.
And I'm all fucking about it.
Yeah. He is not having any more of these monkey fighting Nazis on this Monday to Friday gold train.
Let's see.
It is.
I'm trying to pull up what platform.
Yeah,
it's on.
It is available in all the usual places. It is streaming on Stars if you have a subscription to Stars through Amazon Prime, Roku, or Apple TV, or just Stars itself. And I guess Fandango Cinema, whatever the fuck that is. And then, like I said, it's rentable in all the usual places. Google Play, apparently. Nice. YouTube, Microsoft, Apple TV, and Amazon.
Man.
So
yeah, I'm excited to check that out, because that was one where it was like, I watched the trailer and I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, the trailer
but it just kind of slipped under the radar.
Yeah, the trailer was really good, because I was just like, please, more of that.
I typically rent shit through Apple.
I do too.
It's to rent, it's $3.99, but to buy it's $9.99. So that's one of those where I'm tempted to just fucking buy it in case I like it. That way you didn't waste the money.
So what I really wish Apple TV would do, Steam does something where, like, if you buy a game that is also part of a bundle, they subtract out the price that game contributes to the bundle. I really wish that, like, if I rented this movie through Apple TV and I like it and I want to buy it, they just take the rental price off. Yeah, you just pay the rest of the movie to upgrade to buying.
You would think Apple would do that, because usually Apple is pretty good about shit like that.
Yeah.
But I remember I had rented something, it might have even been for the podcast, but at one point I rented something and had that exact same thought, and like, oh yeah, I'll just convert this into the purchase option and pay the
it's just something you feel like you should do.
It just feels like a no-brainer, but they don't let you do that. Yeah. It's really bizarre.
It's like, some games you buy the game, and then the classic the remastered version comes out like a month later, and it's $10 to upgrade. It's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna do that. This game was already a steal when I bought it on a sale. I'll pay another $10 to get the better version. It's like, come on, man. It's $4 to rent and $10 to buy. Just charge me the other $6 to own.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what grinds my gears.
Because, like, think about it. In this instance, if I rented Sisu for $3.99 for $4 and then elected to want to convert that into the purchase, I'd be paying them an extra $6. How much would I be paying them if I rented it a second time?
Yeah.
Less money.
Exactly.
Like, you're potentially getting more money.
And
so it's a win-win.
And it's like, you still made the $10 and I still watched it. Like, nothing has changed in this transaction except my license to view the movie has changed.
It's really silly.
It's really weird. I don't know of any streaming service that does that, and it makes me wonder if that isn't in agreement with the studios or something, and not something that they could do. That seems like something really stupid the Motion Picture Association would do or something. You know?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that yet, but it very well could be a rental agreement in the fine print of their contracts and shit.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason Amazon or Apple didn't think to do that. That seems like like a no-brainer. Like you said, yeah, I'm just gonna go do it. That's how I discovered you couldn't either. It just seems like something you would naturally be able to do.
Very intuitive thing that you think would be.
I just assumed you could too, and I was like, what? So I think I did that on In the Mouth of Madness.
Gotcha.
Because I think on the podcast, I was like, I think I'm going to fucking buy this movie. And then I still had the rental available, and I went to go convert it. And I was like, what? I have to pay full price, but I've already paid to rent it. Like, I get when the rental period expires, paying full price to buy it. I'm okay with that. But if I'm still within my 48 hours of the first time I watched it, I think you should be able to pay the difference and own. But
I agree. Yeah, it's maybe later on once they have, if it is contractually based, maybe once they have kind of different shit in place down the road, maybe it'll become a thing. But who knows?
What a strange episode this time, Jeff. We were all over the map, but everything was also loosely tied together. It was really strange.
Yeah,
much like the Cloverfield series.
Yeah, for a while there, we had our Cloverfield paradox or slump. At some point, for sure.
Yeah. But the actual meat of the episode. Yeah.
Pulled it back. So there you go.
All right,
man. Good pick on Sisu. That's one I've been wanting to watch for a while.
Yeah, I almost wonder that's one that you should just come over here and we'll just watch it.
Yeah. Let's fucking do it. Bring like a 6-pack. Have some beers. Watch some Nazis get brutally murdered.
Yeah.
What better way to spend a weekend day than that?
Yeah, some brewskis, some hot dogs, or some burgers from Five Guys or something, and just watch fucking Sisu. Because I don't care if I have a feeling even if this movie is terrible, we're still gonna love it because it's John Wick killing Nazis, man.
It's World War II John Wick, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. The poster is really good too. It's black and white except the flecks of blood, which are gold colored.
Oh, we didn't mention that final thing. There is a Overlord poster.
Oh yeah,
where there is droplets of blood that are like paratroopers. Google it. Fucking amazing poster.
It's also the background on the one on IMDb. Like it has the characters and everything. The Inglourious Bastards looking one. It's in the background. You can see the blood splatter. Then there's one like you're talking about that's just the blood splatter.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Great fucking poster. All right, we gotta get the fuck out of here before this podcast 2.5 hours long.
We can kill another 30 minutes.
Or I can go to bed. I'm gonna choose that. So have a good night, everybody.